Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to my second episode of A Talk With. The last one was with Jetty Rhodes, and now I've got the magnificent Abby Louise and and of course Jack Reeves. The community show, the community connoisseur.
I like how I got the bigger intro there. It's just like, oh, there's Abby, and also you might know him as the community.
Abby does stuff, and then there's Jack.
She's productions and does a lot of cosplay and resident Jenny Flint.
Yes, good old
Flint.
They also both do impressions.
It does, yeah, it helps.
For a fact we will turn into Jenny in 11 at some point. It's just a natural thing.
Yeah.
I feel like you've just both become your characters now. Like every time I see you in public, Jack, you're just constantly 10 or 11.
It did help that we only really meet
Abby,
up at Time
Jenny.
Fracture. We only meet up at Time Fracture, so I'm always in costume anyway.
and Comic-Con, to be fair.
And well. Comic-Con, yeah.
And so I'll actually begin with that, because of course you both share one thing in common. Well, you share many things in common, but you also were both on a Comic-Con panel, which of course was yours, Jack. First thing, I was on the Comic-Con panel as well, just saying.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to slip it in.
But I was on the first, and of course...
You were the first one, which is debatably the more important one, because I was testing the waters.
Well, the second one's just as important, because, you got to see if it worked the first time. Can it work the second time? And can it be an ongoing thing? And, of course, I want to ask Abby, because, honestly, I prepared most of this for Abby. I didn't expect you to... But
Jack's just here. Hello, Jack.
Yo.
But of course, I want to ask Abby what it was like being on the second panel, because of course you obviously had a very different experience than what I was when I was on it. And I'll ask Jack the same question: what was it like doing it again? Yeah.
So I'm not really. There's a reason why I do voice acting. Like you're able to hide. I don't really like being out in public, and guaranteed I will not watch it. Like, no offense to Jack, but I won't watch it because I'm in it. I'm one of those. Like, I'm very self-aware. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed myself, but I won't watch it.
Then I'm glad you're one of the few people currently cast for the stage play we're doing.
That's different, though.
Fair.
That was a really shameless plug there, Jack. Well done.
Do you know why that's different, though? It's because for the panel, I was Abby.
Oh, because so you're going to be in a character.
I figured that was going to be the difference. Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Heaven forbid I reveal Abby Louise. Like,
yeah, Jack, what was it like hosting the second time? And the first time?
Fun.
Talk about
well,
that.
No, yeah, both times. It was similar experience. I was definitely more confident the second time, just because you've done it once. It's a similar deal. It was just a case of telling myself over and over again, don't flub, because I'm a flubber. I'm a flubber at the best of times. I can't help it. I trip over my... I just did. I trip over my words all the time. So that was my main focus. And the only big difference between the two... Well, there's two differences. The first one is we didn't have a table and we had really comfy sofas. We didn't have that with you, Rory. We had
you didn't, did you?
Chairs and the worst tables ever because they didn't have a tablecloth yet. For some reason, they got them on straight after we finished. Thanks, guys. But the second difference was we had a Dalek invasion. I talked to the Project Dalek lot, and they just invaded.
Jealous.
And I was like, yes!
It was so funny.
I am so jealous about that. Like
you got a front row seat to that.
I did get front row seats, sit next to Dom, and that was a great experience looking at it from the audience, by the way. And I think you both did a magnificent job.
Thank you.
I mean, apart from the quiz, Abby, just saying.
To be fair,
I came second.
Yeah,
you did.
It was close.
To be fair, I will say that. But yeah, I mainly had plans to, talk about, of course, TT Productions, but of course, Jack, you are also a big mainstay on that channel anyway, so it's great to have you here as well.
Yeah, I snuck my way into TT.
I will say this: he is a TTer as well. Like he fits within the fold of TT.
Of course, with City of the Daleks and everything, and the 11th Doctor and Jenny, which is of course both for you just having fun, really. I was serious.
Yeah,
we've just become, like I was saying to Abby earlier, we've become like the weirdest double act that neither of us expected, but it just kind of happens now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I saw your tweet the other day, Abby, about your original series and your doubt about continuing them. That was brought up in my first talk with Jed, actually. And we were talking about how you definitely should not give up. It's like genuinely a gold mine of great content, like a masterclass in writing, just saying. But of course, I want to talk about your creative process with creating original series compared to Doctor Who ones, and just generally just more about those series. And of course, people should watch them. They'll be in the description below.
Oh, but I'll talk about Scarlet because both of you are in Scarlet.
Yeah, that's very true.
Completely different episodes. You never actually talk to each other, but you're both in Scarlet. But you both get demolished by Chelsea Latham, so
Oh well, lucky us.
it's worse ways to go.
Fair.
Something just popped up on my computer. You can go away. With the original stuff, I'll say this. Scarlet has been going on since October last year. That's been a very, very long project. One, because I was determined to cast people who hadn't done TT before. So hi, Rory. And then obviously Jack appeared because Jack.
And the big one was Chris Thompson. You were chuffed to get him.
Chris Walker Thompson, yeah,
he is incredible, gotta say.
And we had people in that who hadn't even done voice work before. The girl who played Sophia, Jess,
wow.
she'd never even done any voice work before, so it was nice to find some new voices. And as well, like casting wise, a lot of people, like voice actors, will see that it's like a Doctor Who fan thing. No, I've not really had this issue because a lot of my stuff that I do is paternoster. And people just, because it doesn't directly involve the Doctor, it's kind of more like a Sherlock Holmes kind of murder mystery type thing. But a lot of people, they see the word Doctor Who if they're not within the community and they kind of run away. With Molly, we've got a girl called Vanessa who's never done any voiceover work, and we've got Emily, Janie. It's just nice to have people who want to do voice work, but it doesn't have the word Doctor Who stamped on it. And it's good for actors who need stuff for their voice reels and don't really want impressions on them.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Jack was talking to me about his voice reel and how most of it was impressions beforehand. So, I mean, I hadn't really done any voice work before then either. Of course, I mainly work in the editing, writing, but so it was an interesting experience doing it. Especially with the way TT Productions does it with with all the cast and the Zoom call and live talking. It is really well put together, really well done, and I really enjoy being part of Scarlet Lost.
It's just one thing that I try and thrive TT Productions on is the fact that we record over this thing called Zencaster. So we try and get as many people that are available for each scene to record together, which is so much nicer. And then you have the joy of Jenny and 11, as an example. I know it's back to Who, but I've got a recording studio under my stairs.
It's a little very hot cupboard.
And we recorded basically in the same booth. It was like being in Big Finish. When they put
we were shoulder to shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, we were literally. But this is the thing, because the first one we did was with Zachary Rosenfeld, and he heard the carnage on his end of me and Jack trying to hold it in. And then the second one, which is out very soon, is Alia Tori. So she had a good old giggle of me and Jack.
A pleasure. It's always a pleasure working with Alia, but
Alia is amazing.
Her doing the live recordings is we have been working on Blood of the Cybermen recently, and we recorded it live. It's not edited yet, I hasten to add. We've done all the recording, and this sat there because I was directing for it, so just being sat there and listening to Alia and Jack be 11 and Amy, and it was just it is
fun. It is very fun
because, of course, you both of you really adapted City of the Daleks, which of course came from Jack and his idea of adapting all of the adventure games. Are you doing all the adventure games, or is it just
Planning to, yeah. I mean, that
Eventually.
started as a good old Jack original because I loved the games back in the day. But about halfway through the edit, I was like, yeah, no, Christ, I hate editing so much. And so I
Yeah.
messaged Abby and I was like, look, here's my thing. If you edit the rest of it, like the second half, we'll just make it a TT series. We'll put it up on TT, and there you go, it's yours. And that's how baby audios are made, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I'm really proud of that audio. Like I wasn't gonna do all of them if that didn't do well, and it did very well.
I mean,
Hence why we're doing the rest.
It's like Jenny in 11 though.
That I was surprised at. I'm still surprised at.
I mean,
The first one's gone down a storm. We've still got 2 and 3 to come out, but I bet you anything will do more if they
Yeah.
keep going. I'll just be like, do you want to go again, Jenny? Yeah, sure.
Well,
I mean,
I want to do
it's
more
like-
duos because we wanted to do 10
Charlotte
and
and
Charlie.
10.
yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
it's a thing that when like every audio you're in, Jack, it just gets an unusually high amount
the
of
name.
views. It's like
Well, you say that, Scarlett. God bless it. That
I
should have
know.
gotten. That should have done way better.
I
Bullshit.
hope it will.
That's
as
the
time
thing.
goes
That's
on.
the thing that's making me being like, should I bother? Because I know that vampires is going to get more interest than pregnant Irish people, because that is basically
That's what you
Molly
think.
is.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite thing.
Pregnant
I
Irish
mean,
people.
top 5 things it goes pregnant Irish people and
Vampires.
vampires.
But like, that's the thing, that's the viewing. Like, everybody always says to me, it doesn't matter the views and all that stuff, but you do look at the views.
Yeah,
Like
all
both,
the
both
time,
of
yeah.
you have got channels.
everyone does.
Both of you have got channels. I get lectured from certain people, like, only thanks to that one person, yada yada yada. But when you go in from like Jenny in 11, it's got like 1.2k, and then you go down to Scarlet and it's got like 40. You're like,
To be fair, it's my fault because I make crowd pleasers, like both Jenny and 11, which was sort of it was both of our ideas, but City was mine, and I knew really that would do well because everyone knows that it's a very general audience type thing.
Yeah,
it's
I
Doctor
think
Who in its heyday.
there
this is the
is
thing.
different-
Everybody's been asking for like game adaptations. Nobody asked for Jenny in 11.
But I don't know. I think the art, to be
think-
fair, held it.
but-
Dan Patton, I work with the TT audios I do. Dan Patton is a damn talent.
Oh, he is.
A damn talent, quite frankly. So shouting him out.
I've worked with him a few times. He recently made a cover for me with Slovene in a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, that was him, was it?
That was him. Yeah, that was him. And I've also got one because I was inspired by the Adventure Games adaptation to make a 2011 exhibition one, and that was also Dan Patton who made that cover. And
he made me look hot in that. I was chuffed.
But yeah,
That's me
he's
again playing 11.
This is another crowd pleaser. Jack Reeves.
Hey,
yeah. So like
the Jess Elton.
Jack Reeves.
the Tenant one that I made recently got like 3,500 views,
That's me,
which is insane because the one like my highest viewed one before that got like 1,000 views, and it took me months to get
I bet the next thing me and Jack do, obviously after the next game to audio adaptation, is probably going to be Charlotte Pollard and 10. I bet you anything.
I mean, I can imagine that like duo in my head. It just works. Like, I don't know, that just works.
I love
it's the Jack equation. I'm very good at getting people a lot of views that aren't myself. I don't know how I do it for myself. I do well, but the stuff I've done for you two in particular, it's insane how well it's done. I don't know how it works. Help.
Algorithm.
Someone explain like the Jack algorithm.
The Jack algorithm.
The Jack
It's just Jess Elton running it. Jack Reeves.
Jack Reeves.
I mean, talking to Jess Elton, good segue there because I want to talk about Time Fracture quite a bit.
Hell yeah.
Because of course we've all been to Time Fracture unusual amount of times. I wouldn't say unusual, like
Maybe.
a lot of times, like more than my bank account is happy for.
Me too.
I mean, you especially there, Jack. But
Oh, God, don't. Yeah.
but yeah, I wanted to talk about Time Fracture experiences from there, and Brian Nude, of course.
It
we
was
all love
all right.
Brian.
I'm glad it's gone.
It's making space
Sucked.
for something better. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like warehouse space, just storage.
Warehouse for
Better
fruit.
than Time Fresh. No, it was so good, man. I mean, I'm so happy to know that I know it's not gone forever, like it's moving
Yeah.
locations. because more people need to experience that
But,
show.
like,
Definitely.
I've heard it could be moving to like somewhere like Liverpool or Cardiff because of course they have the Worlds of Wonder there, don't they? I'm not really sure
Yeah.
where it's moving,
Yeah,
I
but
think the
we've
main
heard
one I
we've
heard was
heard Manchester.
Yeah, apparently some of the cast mentioned Manchester, but we don't know. We don't know
yeah,
yet. Probably next year.
that's the one bad thing about. Well, that's the main bad thing about it's moving is that we're losing, the brilliant cast who's obviously not going to go with it. Just sad, really, because of course, Jack, you know the cast quite well now from interviewing
Safe
them.
to say, yeah.
It's safe to say. But they also really made the experience special. I know, Abby, you and Noah went quite a lot, and I know you mentioned Noah.
Oh, they
loved the
treated little Noah
experience.
so well.
This is the problem though, because they all saw him. They all see pictures of him, and a lot of them are following me. But I know it's not because of me. I know it's because they've gone, oh look, it's little 12s, mum. That's exactly what's happened there. Like, I can't remember his name, Andrew something or other. Dude with the long grey hair who occasionally was working on
Andrew
PSG.
Lucas. Yeah, the guy who sounded like Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, he promotes TT quite a bit. So I
He's
will,
a really he
thank
does that a lot
you.
with me as well.
Yeah, he's
Shout out to
lovely.
Andrew. He's
lovely.
But yeah, so I went with Jack quite a lot of the time. Of course you did as well, Abby. I mean, I went. How many times did we go, Jack? I mean, we went first,
Too many.
and then we went 2 times in one day.
That was funny because we bumped into that other group of people just randomly because Gemma like hugged her or held her hand or something in the Weeping Angel bit, and then we bumped into them in McDonald's and we were like, should we just go again? And we were like, yeah,
why not?
I'm not.
We were so tired. It was worth it, but it was knackering. Would not recommend.
Yeah, because they weren't expecting us to go again because we explicitly we're not going again that day, and then we
because that was the second to last day. We were like, oh, I'm sorry, we wanted to try it, but then we just showed up, and they were like, oh hi, and like Simon in particular, who was the guy with the beard and the bald head that I interviewed.
Oh yeah,
he was in the end section. I don't know how much I want to say. He was in the end section. Me and Gemma walk in. He sort of double takes it. Gemma goes, oh, hello, Lord Gemma. Fancy seeing you here. It was really funny. Loved it though.
Yeah, I mean,
it's bad. It's bad when a certain woman in a red jacket would come up to Noah and be like, Noah! It's like, I love the fact that you remembered the child.
It's funny, yeah. And the mum way.
It was a brilliant experience. I mean, of course, I went with the huge group of people. I went before the flooding as well, actually, which was
I was gonna go, but that was right when the flood started. Sucked.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too different, to be fair. I mean, the one main difference was when you'd first enter, that kind of room, the blue room with like the screens. That was where Kate originally gave you the introduction before you went into Unit HQ. That's the only difference that I'm
kind of glad they changed it. It's way cooler.
Yeah, and
I like it,
they'd space it up through groups, and then you'd be watching Kate, and then you'd go in, and then like there'd be like a huge amount of people in there already, so it'd be quite unfair.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of the highlights of the show. That like bass drop with the title sequence after Kate finishes, which I fully stole for my announcement video the other day. Just stole it because I'm a thief.
But yeah, I think and then I went with a huge group of people, which was really fun.
How many were in that group? Because that was huge.
It must have been like 15 of us, 12 of us, 10 of us.
Bloody hell! But that was fun though.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Because I went with a group of the TTers, but that was only like 5 of us, and even that was like it's chaotic enough with just like me, Jack, Gemma, and Noah, let alone bloody.
But yeah, it was huge, and like it was just like a matter of like making it like as fun as possible for people who hadn't gone before, and making like embarrassing people, of course, which I mainly did to you, Jack, which was of course
you are such a bugger. Like, okay, I will say one of the many things this boy, this Charlotte, he what one do I say? Oh, I know, Brian. You are obsessed with this boy, and I agree. But he runs into the room because he knows what's in there. He runs into this room with Brian on the floor and shouts, he screams at the top of his lungs, he's going, Brian! Like in front of everyone, dressed as Brian as well. He had a mask and he specifically put it on his head in the full tux as well. Goes, Brian! And I'm just, I had to cover my face. I couldn't watch. And then you had the audacity as everyone's sneaking out of the door to take a fucking selfie with the
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
oh no.
the first time I took a selfie with him, but that was the first time I took a selfie with him alive. But I took a selfie
That
with
was
him
fun.
alive with him on the final day. Me and Jack went and I
Yeah.
got like 2 selfies.
That was a good picture as well.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
And then I got one with him dead again, which was but yeah, I did love Brian. It was great. And then you know,
Brian redemption story when
one day
where he
coming soon,
beats the
Rassilon.
hell out of Zariah. Just this, what you get. That's what you get with Mr. Ball. Zaps him.
Mr. Ball.
You love Mr. Ball.
God,
Shout
and then,
out.
I'm glad I'm glad I went around with him on the last day. That was really fun because Brian, just
Right.
Brian, man,
Rest in
Brian,
peace, man.
rest in peace. Well, you know he's back. He if all went to plan, he's back now. So thankfully,
No, that's
Thankfully,
true.
he's not gone
Although I don't know if you know this, Rory, but Zariah actually is fine, like for the most part, because in the final show, what I've heard at least is that she's forgiven, like that she's not kicked out like it is in the usual show. The Time Lords are like, we were going to kick you out the chapter, but you will stay with us. And I'm like, if Rory was there,
Mm.
I
he'd
really wish
have
I'd seen
words.
that.
Yeah, and dude,
I used to-
I've seen videos. It's really funny.
We're literally revealing so much, but like the bit whenever she got like dismissed, I loved seeing the different levels of the Zariahs. Like one
No,
of
I
them
know what you
full on,
liked
like,
watching of that bit.
well,
Christ.
yeah, no, I like that bit.
Yeah, Jack's mentioned
one
that.
of them full on like got their gun out and proper like legged it out of there. I was like, whoa, that's
You'll
an
see.
angry Zariah.
You'll see. But yeah,
She's
apparently
just
in the
like,
last one, apparently in the last one, she's fine. She's just with them.
Fair enough. Because of course with the last one they were all in there, weren't they? They were all in the Time Lord bit. At the
Yeah,
end,
everyone
the
just
scientists and everything.
bum rushed in. There's videos if you want to find them on Twitter of
Yeah.
everyone in the final section.
Yeah,
doing
I've
like,
seen
it's
that.
our time. It's so good. It spoils the whole show, but it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I did love the experience. It was one of a kind. The best place in London. It's a shame.
Absolutely.
It's a shame it's been lost, but you know, yeah. So the next thing I really wanted to talk about was actually Tabby, a tweet you put out today that I responded to, but it was about, you know, with Noah and because this resonated with me a lot. Because when I was a kid, for context, the meeting will end in 10 minutes. Oh shit.
Oh no! Oh, it's because there's two of us.
Did
Well,
you
10 minutes.
Should have used my account.
Should have. I mean, we can for the next call, I guess. So
Well, there we go.
Do you want to do
But-
that?
yeah. So I'll have to edit this then. Another one that's
And then I'll send the other one
that's
to
really
you.
edited.
Then we have a time limit then.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because of course Jed started the one that I did the other day, but yeah.
I
But
didn't know, otherwise I would have offered.
yeah, so should I end this now and then start a new
Yeah,
one?
might as well.
Yeah, might
Then
as
you
well.
can edit. Then you can edit this bit off. So
So we'll
Yeah.
be right back.
2,000 years later.
Right, so there is the next question I wanted to ask is about really a tweet you put out today about Noah because this resonated with me because of course you put out a tweet today about Noah being told that he's liking of Doctor Who is limiting like his creativity and progress, which really angered me because I was the same because I used to incorporate Doctor Who all the time in my work. I still do, obviously. If I didn't, we wouldn't be here. But you know, I used to like bring in my trading cards, and they used to take them off me, and all my action figures, and used to play with them in the corner of the room because I was a nerd. And but
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
and
not a
yeah, they
nerd,
used to tell me off a
The-
lot.
the-
So just wanted to talk to you about that for a bit.
The thing.
No, Jenny, no.
Bit of lag on
Oh
my end.
no, sorry, Mum. There we go. That's a Jenny impression. So the thing that got
You
me
two both frozen
was
to me.
Oh no.
Are we fixed? I'm stroking a Dalek.
Yep,
Can
you're
you see
fixed now.
me?
Yeah, it just cut and then you just unfroze stroking a Dalek.
Stroking a Dalek. Right. So the thing is, right.
Yeah,
sorry.
go on.
What is this a thing now?
Which is all,
We'll
this
go
is
for
the
the Malka.
thumbnail.
We'll go
We're
for
just
the
all
Malka.
petting. Anyway,
Right. So
Serious.
his school said that Doctor Who wasn't school appropriate, which so he's highly autistic.
Yeah.
So obviously the stuff he's interested in, who's interested in. So yeah, I think it's just kind of irritated me because that's how he expresses himself. And,
Of course.
you know, like it's not affecting his education in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and if anything, it limits creativity when you take something that someone is so passionate about and say, no, you can't be passionate about that. That's against the rules,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to chime in because I've got a good few years of childcare experience. I'm nothing
course.
compared to my lovely fiance, but I will say that when a child has a specific interest, it's not a case of trying to get them, interested in other things. That's, it's a thing, but it's a case of incorporating it to assist learning in other areas.
Exactly.
So, like,
Exactly.
I mean, this is a whole different age range. I taught, like, the eldest was 5, but say they were really interested in trains. Kids love trains. So it's just like, okay, so if you take one train and have another train, how many trains? You just do that with Doctor Who.
Yeah,
one TARDIS,
exactly.
And you add another
Exactly.
TARDIS. How many TARDIS?
Well, what gets me is
Paradox.
they're kind of like I showed it to Jack, but they had like a competition in their school and they had to design their own pajamas, and he done Doctor Who pajamas.
Of course.
And it's like hard to know.
But he's taking part with his interest. It's good,
Exactly.
it's
It's not.
creative.
It's not like it's stopping him doing anything.
Yeah.
And
Back
yeah,
when,
he was getting so upset because he'd come home and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I can't watch Doctor Who, Mummy, because it's not school appropriate." And I'm like,
But then he can't watch my videos.
"Yeah, that's what kicked it off."
I mean, back when I was in school, my school was highly Catholic, highly like really, really strict. Like not really strict, but like as I said,
Catholic strict.
Yeah. I think everyone who's been to a Catholic school understands what I mean by that. But they wouldn't allow me to play with my my little Dalek sec figure when I brought him into school, and I'd play with him in the playground, and they'd take it off me. I don't think I ever got that back, the bastards.
Oh, well, they just wanted to play with it. They were jealous. They were trying to. They had the other 3 bronze Daleks. They just needed the sec to complete the Cult of Skaro set they had in the staff room.
And that there was my battles and time cards and everything, and they'd always be taken off me. And I'd always use it in maths, English, and even French. I like drew I drew like a French Dalek in like it was like with the French flag as the color scheme.
Sorry, I'm just trying not to blink right now.
Yep. Same.
Sorry.
The image of an angel is an angel. You're killing everyone, Abby.
But like I mean,
Sorry.
like it's all good.
Serious story.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow me to do anything Doctor related, anything whatsoever.
Ridiculous.
And it was
I'd understand if it was like Call of Duty or something where you just shoot the hell out of people, but the fact that it's about someone who basically lectures people till they get this thing right, like that's the thing that irritates me.
The thing is, the show itself and all of the media in it is completely limitless. It is probably one of the most creative TV shows ever because you can do anything with it. So having that be something that a child looks up to, a child watches, can be so. I know for me as a kid, it was gave me such an imagination that the content I make nowadays is very much what I would have made as a kid if I had what I had now.
This is the one thing that irritates me because this is Noah's second school, I hasten to add. And all the schools seem to try and like quench creativity. And I'm like, considering all of us are like voice actors and writers, and like we basically 85% of the time aren't thinking about ourselves, we're thinking about characters, we're thinking about voices. And for them to turn around and basically be like, oh no, you can't imagine Doctor Who stuff. I'm like, well, what am I doing then? Like, sorry.
Yeah. Although I will say, what if, right? If they bring you in for like a parent meeting and they say, okay, we need to clarify here. It's not necessarily the show. He keeps coming in pretending to be a Cyberman and killing all of the other children. Then they might have a case because he is obsessed with the Cyberman.
He does the walk and everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
I've
dances to
seen
Murray
the
Gold's
video
theme.
of the dancing. Yeah,
It's so good. I didn't know you could dance to Murray Gold music.
And he
but I
loves
love
Murray
it.
Gold music. And what makes me
Good.
laugh, he listens to like on YouTube like all of the Daleks themes, all of the blah blah themes, and they'd be like all the classic stuff, and then the Murray Gold will come and he'd be like, oh, the good stuff now, and then it'll be like,
dun,
but
dun.
then
I need a
it'll be
dubstep remix
yeah,
of the
dubstep one.
Cybermen theme.
Harry. And then it'll be the new stuff, and then it'll be like, oh, it's not Murray Gold now, mummy.
Oh, not Segin Akinoa. No,
But that's-
mum.
That's just what he literally calls him, not Murray Gold.
Vicious, the worst critic. Watch out, Noah's coming, Segin.
Not Murray
Mm.
Gold.
Well, you heard it here first. Noah despises anyone that's not Murray Gold.
Only the hottest of takes here at a talk with.
I say he's the child who dances to like the Cyberman Age of Steel
It's-
music.
It's the best thing. It's the cutest video. So you send me these videos every once in a while, and I'm like, yes. Like when he was copying the Matt Smith, like a visualizer eye. He was
when
obsessed with that word.
he had a jammy dodger the other day.
Oh
I
yeah,
sent
and he
you
was
that
like, he quoted Victor in
It's
the
a
Dark.
jammy dodger, but I was promised tea. I got to find it.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Mm. But yeah, I'm glad that no matter what the school says, Noah continues to.
Literally,
yeah.
they.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's in good hands with Abbott. Oh, here he is.
No, here it is.
I've got to try and find a start here now.
It's such a good video, though.
Jammy Dodger, what is tea?
It's a jammy dodger. I was promised tea.
I love how he does a little spin as well. It's so good.
It really adds to the scene. I wish that was how it was in this show.
Dude,
It's like when he
he's
got- it's like-
cast as
it's
in-
like-
in Jess- as
It's like
Jethro.
it's like when he got the Time Fracture merch. I
Showing
wouldn't
off his
mind, but
boobs.
he's what
Dude, he is on brand.
bless him. Anyway,
But, one thing
child.
I also want to talk about is Midday, which is
Yes.
your
Yes,
which you're both working on, Mitch, of course.
Yes.
Very excited.
I'm very excited for this. It's an excellent idea. Of course, you wanted at first. I wanted to talk about like the process of creating it and how difficult, because of course you wanted to do Chimes of Midnight at first, and then Midnight.
Sort of,
well,
yeah.
yeah.
There was
It was kind of like backup plans, wasn't it?
Yeah, essentially what it started off as me seeing a piece of art on Twitter. I showed it in the video by Rogue, who basically for their course, I think it was, imagined Midnight on stage. And I was like, oh, what if we did a direct adaptation just to stage of Midnight, just straight-faced? And I talked to Mr. TARDIS about it because I know he knows sort of the legal side of things. And he was like, maybe, maybe not. Get the blessing, maybe, from Russell T. And I was like, oh, that sounds easy. So my two backups were Family of Blood by Paul Cornell and Chimes of Midnight by Rob Shearman. Both of which I got in contact with, and both of which said no.
No.
They were like, don't do it. You're not allowed. I do not give you permission. I'm like, bollocks. And so I was like, so I went back to Will. I went back to Mr. TARDIS and I was like, is there a workaround? Can I cheat? And he was like, technically, if you make it a parody and do it, fully comedy, you can have the characters, you can have certain bits of dialogue, you can have the set. And I was like, well, it's a comedy now. that's the sort of abridged version of the genesis.
Which is fine, bearing in mind I'm the character I'm playing. Some people have said has been the scariest thing in Doctor Who since
You're
the new
playing
You are
era.
the scariest thing on
Sylvie-
Doctor Who YouTube. I'm terrified of
Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially my inner Jenny now just wants to kick.
please no.
Yeah, so the auditions are up now, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
you can
Yes,
you
I've
find out
started
more.
getting
I'll
some
link
through.
I've heard, and I'll link that in the description, of course.
Thank you very much.
Very
Auditions
much.
will still be open, I assume, by the time this goes out. So if you want to be on the Doctor Who stage play, audition away. I await your audition.
And try and watch me and Jack not laugh at each other when we're being Sky and 10.
We're gonna have to go face to face, and that's not gonna be easy.
Because it is quite, I was watching it yesterday actually because I was introducing someone to Doctor Who. For some reason, Midnight came up, and we watched. It was a very weird selection. We started with Aliens in London, World War III.
That's a bold first one.
Blame my sister for that.
Fair enough.
She wanted because
But yeah, because you watched Lodger as well. Who
Why?
in
Yeah.
the right mind?
Oh yeah, James
watches
Corden, my
Lodger?
favorite companion.
my sister apparently, but she chose the one with the farting aliens, of course, which
Nice.
which actually went down well. You
Oh,
know,
good.
my
Well, it's
mate-
Eccleston. You can't lose.
Oh, of course.
True.
So we started with that, which went down well, of course. So it was a good laugh, because and the VFX also got a good laugh as well.
Oh, hell yeah. To be fair, those suits stand up. It's just when they go CGI and they're all like slimy.
Yeah,
rubber.
that was a bit I
Yeah.
got a laugh. And then we watched after that. We watched. Oh, what was it? Was it Midnight? Yeah, it was Midnight. Because
I mean, that's a good first one.
Yeah,
It's
the
a good
person
shout.
I was introducing was a horror fan, and they wanted
Oh.
to, And
It's
then we
it is written like a show, though. This is what gets me.
Mhm.
It is literally written like it was made to stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we watched Blink after that.
Another
which was,
another classic.
Was it the Lodger? It was either the
Going
Lodger
from
or-
Blink to the Lodger.
Blink
How
to
did
the
they not just
Lodger.
leave your house at that
They were like,
point?
"Bye now, see you later."
Honestly, for the most of that part, they were mostly on their phones because
Yeah.
it wasn't one that we enjoyed.
They didn't like Matt Smith randomly playing football halfway through. That was my
The
favorite
one with the
scene.
sticks, isn't
And
it?
I was telling them, I'll put on Vincent and Doctor. I will,
Yes.
Now that
Mercy.
slaps. Yes.
but yeah, it was mainly just we knew we'd cringe at it, so it'd be a good laugh. I
Fair
was so
enough.
tempted to
Meanwhile,
love monsters.
Oh my god, no. Meanwhile, me and Noah watched the whole of the Adric arc. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's in all fairness, Adric's one of Noah's favourite companions, but he is only 7. So
Oh, fair enough.
yeah, he sees a boy in pajamas.
One
who's
moment.
like-
I'm getting a call from my fiance. I'm just gonna mute
Hello,
myself.
fiancé.
Continue talking.
Yeah, so
Mm.
it's like Adric's one of his favourite companions. So, and I'm quite lucky that he'll sit and watch Classic Who and not move a
Yeah.
muscle. So
Yeah, I remember growing up with Classic Who because at first, God, I must have watched the 5 Doctors to begin with.
yeah,
Is that the Centauran Experiment? All kind of I think I watched some of the ones that people would call shit to start off with. Like I watched, like I grew up on Warriors of the Deep, Time Flight.
oh
Those
god,
two were quite ones that, but because I think that was a good move because I got accustomed to the shit episodes and the
fair.
shit,
So
shit
when all the good
effects.
ones came about. No,
Yeah, and, like-
I was like, we went for a stay. We went this past like 2-3 weeks.
Mm.
I just be like random Doctor Who episode. So we've watched all of the Adric art. We watched Seeds of Death, which
Oh,
I
good.
purely watch because there's a bit when Patrick's trying to get inside the building and he's all surrounded in foam. And when he falls through the door, Wendy loses it. She corpses so bad. And you can tell they didn't have any more, they couldn't do any more takes. And he just falls
Mhm.
into this building covered from head to toe in foam. And Wendy is just laughing so hard. And then they're running around these corridors and they're slipping and sliding. And meanwhile, Wendy is still laughing. Like, just watch it for the corpse in Wendy. That's the only reason. It's like Earthshock. I can't watch Earthshock now. Like Noah's there, like, oh no, Adric's died, and all I know, because if you listen to the commentary,
Yeah, they call him Boom Boy, don't they?
well, Sarah is hugging Janet, but Sarah is laughing into Janet's chest. She's not crying. She is giggling. I love it. It's like as well as the classics, we'll be watching some 10 again because Noah's obsessed with 10 and we watched New Earth. And you know that bit when he's like you've been looking, you like it. And you can see the back of Billy's face, and all you can see is her mouth like tugging up at the side. It's like she's gone. She's corpsed. She's gone. I love watching out for like corpses and mistakes, and
it's the only way to watch TV, really.
But I remember when the Angels in the Forest one with Eleven and Amy. I remember when he came. I was one of the people that was like, continuity error. You know, when he turned up with a jacket on.
Yeah,
I
with
was
the
like,
tweed jacket.
I was like, why has he got his jacket on? Obviously, they said why afterwards.
Oh, welcome back, Jack.
Yeah, obviously they said why afterwards.
Hi, I'm back in the studio.
I was one of the first people to be like, continuity error.
We're talking about the Whippy Angel episode of 11 Flesh and Stone, where he comes in tweed. We were just talking about like classic.
Oh, was that bit? I remember noticing that when I was like, what, I don't know how old I would have been, 11.
Talking about like corpsing and
like...
like continuity errors and all that.
Yeah, I remember noticing that, being like, that's weird. But then when Big Bang came along, I was like,
yeah, it makes sense.
It was amazing.
That was Moffat big brain moment, but working in his favor as opposed to making him look like
that's one thing Stephen Moffat did good. Like with like River Song. Like he knew if he wants to have an arc, he'll carry that arc over.
Yeah. Quite good. Who's in the mystery box in series 10? Oh, it's Missy.
Oh, it's Missy. Hello.
Yeah,
I think he gave up towards the end, didn't he?
He did, bless him.
I mean, he's openly said that he just didn't want a heavy arc at that point, especially after
do you know what he did?
The hybrid.
He done what by all three of us are guilty of. He had too much on.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was doing too much, and all three of us.
I was about to be offended, but you're correct.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm like that right now, right? This like around this time.
I mean, you can see where I am. That's part of my big bloody thing at the minute. I've moved. I'm in between jobs. I've turned down a job so I can go for something else that will probably backfire. And I'm also planning a stage play, the community show stuff. I'm gonna die.
I mean, for me, I've got the Doctor in Distress cover, which I'm editing now.
Oh, I'm very excited to hear
which, of course, you were a part of, Jack, which was...
I belted my heart out on that.
Oh, it was incredible.
You're holding up all your scripts there, Abby. Nice.
I've got a backlog of an unfathomable amount of content, some of which I started yesterday because I couldn't stop myself.
Well, currently
it's a short life. We all want to get stuff done as soon as
currently
possible.
I'm still editing the next Paternoster Gang audio because it's taking forever and a day because it's set in Greece.
Yeah.
So it's sounds that I don't have, and it's all like waterfalls and caves and then we've got a script read for the next Paternoster Gang, which is out after this one, and this is that one after that one, which somebody else wrote, which I'm ripping apart at the moment with a red pen.
I do want to mention quickly, Abby. You mentioned about like the waterfall in Greece and stuff. You are very creative when it comes to sound design. Like usually, I've got one in particular that I love, and that's from City of the Daleks. Usually, you can just sort of fish for sound effects online, and which is what I do all the time. But you foleyed the like venom monsters, the plants, so it's supposed to like hiss, like jump out and hiss, and you used, what was it, squirty cream, and you don't even know, you can't tell if you listen to that audio, that is squirty cream when it goes.
I will say this a lot, if I can make the sounds myself, I will. Like there's in Absolute Zero, which is our TT's 8th Doctor and Ice Warriors story, there's a lot of like the top of the pyramid spinning, and it had like rocks and stuff, and there's me out in my garden like running rocks along concrete. At the beginning of Into Insanity, Madame Vastra flips over the table and all the paper flies everywhere. There's me in my kitchen like going like, if I can make it, I will. Like, love a bit of phone.
When it comes to my audios,
so much going on.
I don't really make many of my sounds, not gonna lie. I make a few here and there, but I just, I'm often really busy with college work and everything, which I've finished now, thank fuck for that. But then I'm going to university, which will take up but then again, it's a film university, so I'll probably incorporate it in some way. But
probably.
I think I'm gonna make the fan film a lot during
Oh,
your time.
yeah, you're hype. Oh, sorry. Just before, because we can talk about that, but like, I remembered one time I did a bit of Foley. I needed someone like to bang on the floor. Actually, no, that was for the first half of City of the Daleks, where Amy phases through my arms and slams on the floor. And I thought, oh, I know, I can just fall on the floor. Not thinking I could drop something. No, that would be the smart choice.
No, of
So
course,
here's
of course.
me. I genuinely put on a leather jacket because she's wearing a jacket in the audio. And I just for some reason just decide fall
Threw
on my
yourself onto
hard
the
wooden
floor.
floor. I just fall, and you can hear me. I think I don't know if I still have the file. You can hear me just go, "Oh, why did I fucking do that?" At which point I put a jacket on a pillow and dropped it, and it got
Yeah.
the right noise. I felt so stupid.
I think the best one is like in
I'm a
I think
stuntman.
it's either before Vastra 6 or before Vastra 7, I can't remember. And she's Jenny comes in and she's like all injured, and Vastra's there like dipping her cloth in some water and then like cleaning Jenny's face. And I literally recorded me doing this over the audio, so it sounded
Nice.
like Alia, and I was like squeezing out the flannel.
Were you like,
and,
now how would Alia do this? Would
Basically.
she do double dab and then go? Or
there was like, Alia, if you were cleaning somebody's face.
yes. Method acting.
Speaking
very
of
important.
Alia,
Hmm?
I can't show you much of it,
Mm.
but we have actually been given TT have been given a script written by her,
Ooh.
which will be out in November, called Shutter.
Oh wow.
So
Nice.
that's going to be a fun one because it was written as a visual, and everything fell through for her. Like basically, in summary, bless her.
It happened.
Yeah, so we're getting it turned into a visual for her. But everything I'm announcing now, this is the thing. I just announced War on the Moon,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
which isn't out till Christmas. Like
Yeah, I've seen your release schedule. It's packed.
Mm.
it's so busy.
Also, I'm in that, but I didn't know until you sent me the artwork. I was like, oh, cool.
Is it Nevin? It's
I
gotta be
know,
you.
I didn't know it existed. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll
Okay,
be in a
sure.
Sontaran one, sure.
It's fun. I mean,
Abstract now.
it's all because they do those little shorts with the Pat Gang, and there was one
Yeah.
just before Snowman, and it's when they're trying to get the doctors to start investigating stuff again. And Jenny's like, "Oh, there's a man who thinks he's a blah blah," or whatever. And he's like, "Really?" And then Strax is like, "Sir, I've declared war on the moon."
Strax, for goodness sake, how many times you can't put war on the moon? You can't do
But
it.
then he's like, "Oh no, I haven't really." But we were like, "No, he did
No, he
declare.
has.
He did declare war on the moon."
In our
So we all have
timeline,
to.
yes, he
We all
bloody
had
did.
to go. We all have to go to the moon and like try and parlay with these creatures called the Moonites. But you'll see.
Noise.
I look forward to it. It sounds hilarious. It sounds great.
Well, it's one of those ones that started because obviously a lot of the TTs we met on TikTok.
Hmm.
And that's one of when yeah. Well, it's one of those ones that started off as an RP on TikTok.
Mm.
So in all fairness, if you go onto TikTok now, it's flipping awful. And my Jenny accent is atrocious because it's like early. If you type into hashtag War on the Moon, it's all on there.
Please tell me you see Strax in like a suit.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Matt in a suit who
Mhm.
plays Strax.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's one bit where we're crawling through a tunnel, and we've all used different objects as the tunnels, and it's I've like taped like a toilet roll to the front of my phone or something, and I'm like
Nice.
crawling. It's so
I mean,
bad.
that's
that is
really
very
inventive.
creative.
It
That
is
is
good,
really
yeah.
inventive.
In all fairness, this was like COVID lockdown. It was
Mm.
like
The dark
pre
times.
yeah, like let's make this an audio company.
Mm.
But yeah,
I mean,
that's one that originated from there.
Mm. I mean, quite a lot of channels properly started in lockdown. I mean, I know I was one of them. I mean, the community show was that
was
wasn't during
2021.
lockdown, was it?
Yeah,
That was
after.
2021. Yeah. And what about TT Productions? How was that during lockdown?
So our first audio, Angels of Station 2964, which is Eighth Doctor and Charlie, came out in August.
Mm. Mm.
So we're not even a year old yet. We're a baby
Your
channel.
little babbies.
We're a baby channel. Hello.
And you've done well
Aw.
for yourself in that very short
Mm.
amount of time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you've gotten
Amount
out
of
a lot of
audios.
quality stuff
It's insane.
and a lot of rubbish stuff. I hate it.
I don't write it all, Jack.
That Jenny and 11, throw it in the bin.
They've not heard
Terrible.
3 yet.
True. Number 3 is where it gets weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Number 3 was fun, sound edit wise. You'll hear.
Plug.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I do look forward to 11, and Jenny, of course, you two are a huge double act now, of course.
Hell yeah.
Known
We're
for
the
that
dream
now.
team.
Of course, I was going to ask if you have any more Jenny and Doctor content planned, but you have more 10 and Charlie now.
Well, with me and Jack.
Yeah. Because you can do Charlie, I can do 10. Why not repeat the success of Jenny
Basically,
and 11
just
if it
gonna-
does well? Yeah.
Just gonna do another thing. Just
Oh, yes.
Another 3 with
Well,
Charlie.
I need to
and-
practice my 10 for the stage play, because if I mess that up live,
That's a
I'm
good
in
point.
trouble.
In all
I mean-
fairness, it's a comedy. Just roll with it.
Yeah, it's a
Fair point.
parody, you know.
You've got to do a 10 voice, but I'm not going to spoil much else. You've got to do a 10 voice at some point in the stage play. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, because you'll play. That makes sense. That does.
It's so
How
funny.
I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to ask too much about stage play because of course most of it will be
Spoilers.
but how are you guys doing the in unison chat? Because of course a lot of
Well, we
There
can't
is-
tell you that. We can't tell you that.
There is jokes to do with it, but I will say the
course.
Doctor does find a very cheeky workaround to shut her up at some point. I can't say much more than that, mainly because it sounds really creepy.
It
out of
really does
context.
out of context.
See,
But the
you
Doctor
say
is
it like that.
using his brain.
I've got ideas in my head.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I do love force.
Hello, I'm the lady who sleeps with a lizard in audio form. So
Yes, Jenny. She doesn't put up a balloon or anything. I keep walking in on it. It's disgraceful.
I've told
I don't
you
know
before,
what I'm
Doctor.
looking at.
Doctor, if they're screaming, don't come running in. The door's
If I hear
locked
the
for a
hand
reason.
crank going, then I won't. I won't. That's an inside joke. I can't divulge anything.
You
else
can't go into that.
there might be children watching.
Anyway, stage play.
Stage
Yeah,
play. I am
stage
really
play.
excited for this though. We've got about 9 auditions in so far.
I'm
About
gonna,
half of them are voiced. Yeah, I know you're going for
I'm
it.
going
very
to audition.
excited. I'm waiting on Jude as well. He said he's going to go for it, as well as
Oh,
a
of course.
couple others who are maybes. In fact, Chris Thompson might go for one of the voice acting roles, and I'm quite hyped about that. And someone who was it that commented? He's a very good impersonator. Pete Walsh, who does the amazing Ninth Doctor impression.
Oh yeah, I mean
He said he might do something, and I'm like, yes.
That's
Please.
brilliant. Yeah, I got in contact with people a while ago. Well, he got in contact with me. I've still got to get in contact back, but he does an incredible Ninth Doctor.
He does.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
It's uncanny. But
Note
yeah,
to self.
No, definitely. If you can.
Well,
Get
we
him
were
with anyone.
in the mix
9
of
and Flip
everything.
Adventures.
Yeah, and in the
Mm.
mix of everything else we're writing, we've actually it's kind of sat on the back bench at the moment because it features a companion called Flip Jackson,
oh yeah,
Big
from Big Finish, yeah.
Finish.
who is voiced by Lisa Greenwood, but she currently is suffering from long COVID.
She got COVID, yeah.
So I don't really want to start making audio because I can voice Flip. I don't really want to start.
See, you say that, but you
voicing.
did Jenny around the time she got that actress got pregnant and couldn't do Big Finish.
This is
So
true.
you have precedence for trying to take people's jobs.
I don't really want to be writing a script that features Lisa's character when she can't work
Yeah.
because of illness. So at the moment, it's kind of sitting on the back bench. But that's called Vastra Awakens, and obviously, it's about Vastra waking up in the
Yeah.
underground. And
That
it's
makes sense.
It's 6, Flip, and 9,
Ah,
Flip.
nice.
The Two
Flip.
Doctors Part 2.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, talking of Doctor impressionists, I mean, of course, Jack, you do 10 and 11, and then you do
Apparently,
all the
he
other
does a
Doctors.
really good 5.
I've been
Really?
told that, but I don't believe them.
I mean,
'cause I'm
do you
just
want- do you
out-
want to-
I can, I guess, but
Well,
it's like,
this is the thing. If you can do a 5, like I will bring out my Nissa.
I mean,
Not a
I-
euphemism.
yeah. So okay, so my 5 is just me, but out of breath. So it's sort of up here. You see, Petty
it's quite
and
good.
Adric and Nissa and what's the other one?
Chameleon,
Well,
chameleon,
well,
chameleon,
well,
chameleon. You forgot chameleon.
Oh, Chameleon. Yes. Oh God, don't get me.
Oh no! I know
Okay.
what you're just.
Going back to midday, there's a bit where I have to list a
And
bunch,
me.
and you have to list all the companions. like in order.
And
And
he missed
Joel,
loads.
who's
He
my
missed
script editor,
loads.
Joel Johnson pointed out like, you've missed Chameleon, you've missed this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh, shut up, you big old fucking nerd.
You missed Chameleon.
He
I
missed
did.
Turlo.
I missed
You
Turlo. I
missed
did
the
miss
most
Turlo.
memorable companions of
I
the
missed
80s.
Ben and
What
Polly
gets-
as well.
No. What gets me is he remembered Chameleon. Chameleon.
Oh no, I
was
did.
in
I
it.
did.
You
I
forgot.
Turlo.
You forgot
Good.
Turlo. You forgot Zoe.
I did.
You forgot Vicky.
Fake fan. You're a fake fan.
I nearly forgot
You're-
Donna, which was the worst part. 'Cause she's
Oh my god!
she's
Yeah.
a
in the
character.
episode. But I
You
mean,
watch. It'll come to that bit on stage, and Jack will just be miming, and I'll just like, I'll list it.
Oh no, I'll just
You're-
read it off the script. I'll
your
be lazy.
fan rights have been revoked. You know.
Oh,
you
it's
no
happened
longer fan.
before. Jack Alexander, who I did Battles in Fandom with, revoked my rights to be a fan ever since I suggested doing Midnight, but with The Rock. He said it was a good idea. So he looks at Sky, he looks him dead in the eye and just goes, and that's it. That's the whole episode. That it's weird.
Wow.
It's box office genius. Ooh.
This is what I was scared about at that panel. We've gone full circle here.
Well, you were
I
scared
was
of
like-
Dwayne The Rock Johnson's job.
Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm his best mate.
No, I was like, because I when it comes to Doctor Who, I know stuff, but no one knows more stuff than me. Like
Should've had him on.
unless it involves like Lizard Women and Paternoster Gang. At the moment,
They are your speciality.
yeah, they are. Like,
Where is no, I'm not
it's
going
my
to say that joke.
speciality, yeah, speciality subject. But I honestly thought that I wouldn't know anything about that quiz, but luckily I did.
You did
somehow.
very well. I mean, that last question saved your ass. Where it was worth like as many points as your brain can.
But only because it was purely because I can't even remember why.
I should
But
get that
literally like the day before, I was like, for some reason, I was like, how many subscribers has Jack got? And then like that's the only reason why I got that.
That was what.
question
Yeah, that
right.
was one of the questions. I wanted to be cheeky.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I put the prize when I was on the quiz because I won.
Oh
the
yeah.
quiz.
My child, my
somewhere,
child. has
It's
that.
somewhere on the.
Oh,
desk.
here.
Oh, have you
But-
got your prize? There's Abby's prize.
I'll try and find mine, but I can't
He
really-
was so happy when the other guys picked their prices and they were so much better. But I was like, I have a child who's obsessed with 10, so I have to get the tiny 10.
Of course.
It looks like one that's been shrunk by the master.
It does, yeah.
I feel like
With
I
that
should put
tissue
it in like
compressor.
a little like
Yep, good old
matchbox.
tissue compression eliminator.
master.
Master.
Here he is.
I read your
Tiny
file.
person.
Gotta love him.
Mm. But
Sasha Master.
yeah, the one that the prize I got was the a Bad Wolf TARDIS
The
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bluetooth
the
speaker.
Bluetooth
Yeah.
speaker.
Don't tell me you've lost it.
I
That was
have
a prize I won from Big
Yeah.
Finish.
I've got it
That's a
around- I
Big
think-
Finish speaker.
It might be in my cabinet, but
I won
I'll
an
have to get out.
impression contest. I think last year or the year before, because by doing my Tenant impression by replying to their tweet, and I won, and I got that Bluetooth speaker and this wireless phone charger that doesn't charge my phone because it's the wrong model.
Brilliant.
And yeah, and so I was like, what can I use for a prize on the first one? I was like, that looks pretty cool, and I don't use it. There you go.
I wanted that wireless charger.
That's how I pick all my prizes. I don't buy anything specifically.
You
I'm
didn't
like, I
really
use it as a
value
clear
that.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't
What-
buy
what
that
tax
tiny
can I get
Tenant?
rid of?
Oh no, well, I technically I
didn't?
did the Comic Con before, and I was like, I don't need this. Go away, phone. You're distracting me.
Yeah, I've got it around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I do think it's in my cabinet alongside I actually brought this out the other day, but hang on, I'll grab it. You two continue talking while I grab it.
God, that
Hi.
Rassilon Productions.
I know,
I
right?
can't stand him. He's always
hear you,
going
by
on
the way.
about Delta and the Bannerman and Love and Monsters like some sort of weirdo.
Everyone has a brand.
Yeah, Paternoster. Hi.
And I mean, Brian the Ood isn't even that attractive.
No, I know.
I'm just saying, like, noodles aren't my thing. But then again, I'm the same with lizard women. It's not my
Oh
king.
no, see, I love a lizard woman.
I know you do, darling, but it's
Especially
a real
when they're
problem.
in the form of
Oh,
Alieri Tori.
Well, I'm the same. I sort of act. Well, not I don't flirt. Alieri Tori flirts with me in Blood, which I wrote. So technically, it's all my fault. There it is. There's
Yeah,
Rory's
both
prize.
of us.
Oh, and
We
hang on.
both
Basically,
flirted with
Both,
Alieri
both
Tori.
of us make Alia flirt with us.
It's not my fault, okay? It's just because
It's all a
Tom.
character trait. I'm
It's a
sorry.
yeah. Yeah,
love
there it
you,
is.
really.
Speaker badge.
Mhm.
Hell
Yeah, and another thing I've got to show, because I showed Jed this the other day, and I want it to be an ongoing theme. But my college did this award show the other day, and it was like the short film award show because we do film studies and everything, and they were giving out these trophies, and this is one that I stole because I didn't actually win one.
You son of a bitch. You stole it.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
got a
funny.
trophy.
They put them on the table afterwards, and I just nabbed it.
What is it with you and Steve? You stole from Time Fracture as well. Have you told this story?
I almost stole from Time Fracture, Jack.
I'm
you
shocked
actually
you didn't just walk away with it. I'm shocked.
I honestly thought that me walking out of it was the part of the show, but I suppose I can say that. But you know the Davros bit, Abby. Did you
Yeah.
ever see Davros?
Oh, the heat,
the fake.
yeah.
Yeah, before the flood. Oh, hi Gemma. Before the flood.
Hey. That's really creepy. It's like fish eyeing you. The corner.
Your door looks really wonky.
It does. Well, if I go like that, there we go.
There we go. Now it's not wonky.
Now I'm
door.
weird.
Hi.
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like we've had two yesterday when I was interviewing Jed. Like I think it was his mother-in-law showed up. So
Okay.
every time I've done this, I've had extra guests come in. So
You can put her in the title and the description. Featuring Gemma Whittington, the real celebrity.
you've seen the thumbnail I was planning to use for you, Jack, and I'm still using that image.
Don't you dare! It was a picture of me as Hartnell. He does this all the time. When you
Oh,
announced you were
yes!
part, when you announced you were part of my Comic-Con panel last year, that's the picture you used, and I was like, "For fuck! I have so many nice pictures, so many nice ones, and you picked that one." I was livid. I was.
But I've now I've put it into the thumbnail with one of you.
Is
and
it 5
Abby.
now?
I'll just no. I want to be. It should be one of just Abby, but I'm perched on her shoulder like a parrot. So I'm like, hey.
I will do
Yeah,
it.
where was I?
There we
What
go,
was I
yeah.
talking about again?
You
Million
stole an. You
things.
stole an.
Oh yeah, I
award.
stole this. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna go. Oh yeah, then how I stole something from Time Fracture. Well,
Yes.
almost
Tell the
stole something
Time
from
Fracture's thief story.
So yeah, you get this kind of time ring thing from Davros, but
It's about that
before the flood, they used to say just
Bad
give it-
episode.
Excuse me.
You said before the flood. Just
Yeah, I
leaning
know,
in there.
I know. I was just saying excuse me to that
Segue.
comment because
Boring.
get out.
There. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ow, I tripped on my wire.
But yeah,
Karma.
before the flood, they used to just tell you to give it to the person you trust, and then they wouldn't get you to give it to the person straight afterwards. So it would just be to the person you trust, and they gave it to me, and I trusted
should have.
nobody.
Yeah, that was that was their first.
That was a
mistake.
mistake.
That's
I
when they
think-
realised they needed you to give it to the bogey coat man.
Yeah.
Because like I took it all the way to the end, and like
That was a
I didn't-
jest. That was a jest thing. That sorry.
Oh, what is that? What she described it as?
See the bogey coat man. Okay.
Yeah, I trusted nobody else throughout the entire experiences, and I like, is it over now? And I like walked out with
It's
it,
got
and I
this
like
thing.
went up to the desk, and how do you explain to someone that you were given this by?
You
Davros?
don't. You walk out and you keep it as a trophy.
I should have. I should have stolen it.
They would have been
I
so
would've-
confused.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for my meddling
Meddling
honesty.
kids.
Oh, disgraceful.
My honesty. Wow, being a
Dude.
good citizen.
When we're back on Time Fracture, we need to briefly talk about some of the cast that we got to know because they were so lovely. I mean,
Well,
off
you
the
got
top
to
of
know
my
them
head,
more than I did. but
I did.
took-
I was lucky enough to interview them. There is Simon, Jess, Samuel,
Bethany.
Bethany. It's Bethany, Evangeline, who's one I started.
I
to know
will never
again.
get over the Shakespeare bit where we had Beth, and
Oh,
she came
God.
in and made you do the royal look.
Yeah, I had to play the Queen for Shakespeare and her, and she said, "So you're going to be playing me, yes?" And I said, "Apparently." And she went, "Well, it's a very important thing. You have to do the look."
look.
And I was like, "Oh, please
look.
demonstrate." She was like, "I will." So you got to look
She
away,
holds onto the fireplace and she goes,
and I had to do that. So I turned around to the wall, stuck my booty out, all sexy. And I did the look. I did it really fast. I got a bit lightheaded, and they were like, "Oh, that's splendid, well done." And I was
God.
worried because I realized what happens next in that track is that you go on the stage in front of everyone, and you have to do a little bit of the play. And I was worried because I was like, shit, I don't have to do that, do I? Luckily, I didn't. But we did have to play dead on the floor, if memory serves.
The thing that got me with that bit was Noah being a tree.
Noah nailed the
Oh,
tree.
Noah had to be the color yellow.
He did have to be the color. He was so confused. Bless him. He had no idea what they were
It was
talking
like,
about. Yeah, it was Shakespeare's bit of improv, and Noah had no idea how to take it. He was like, "What?" He didn't say anything. He was just sort of blanked, like, "What did you just say to me?"
Noah will be found
ma'am?
the color yellow. He's like, ah.
He did nail the color yellow. I fully believed. Gemma was treated as sexist. It was great. One of the last times we went, I forget if it was with you, Rory, but
Probably.
me and Gemma were in with Shakespeare, and there's two props you could be given, either a sword or a broom. And well, you see, Gemma was quite foolish. She turned down Shakespeare's marriage proposal. It was very sad.
Yeah, I was there for that.
I wasn't even paying attention. I was tired, so I didn't even hear this whole thing transpire. But when we went into his little area, he gave me a sword. And I was like, okay, I forget what it was for, but I was like, fuck yeah, I've got a sword.
His muggers were coming in.
And because he was annoyed at Gemma, he was like, have this broom. And I just go, that's a bit sexist. And he didn't know how to take it. He had no idea. He wasn't expecting me to say it. And
That's like, I remember
whoops.
the first time we went. We were with Brian.
Oh yeah.
And we'd seen Zariah. This was the first time, so I didn't know who she was. I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, it
Hello.
took a while for us to learn the names, but I know the entire plot inside and out at this
Literally,
point.
yeah,
I
I
wrote
think all
it
of us-
down.
yeah,
I
all of
wrote
us
it down
did.
for Rory.
But I remember seeing Zariah and being like, hello, I'm very gay right now. Obviously. Yeah, hello, bisexual queen. But like,
Terrible.
Keep talking
I
about it.
remember we were so Brian saw like this picture of Zariah and he was like, oh, we need to find this person. And I was like, oh, the fit one. He was like, oh, the fit one. And then he
yes.
continued to walk around. He went to like all the different people
Yeah.
in Time Fraction, be like, excuse me, have you seen the fit one?
Yeah.
Every
Wait,
single person.
was that Brian really, really tall, or was he?
No,
okay, it wasn't James then.
No, it
Ah!
wasn't James.
I didn't know what he was doing, but I should have guessed.
No,
Well,
it
special
wasn't.
guest Brian the U just joined us. Hi, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you for asking.
That's so muffled.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. I am doing great, thank you for asking.
Oh yes. Oh, what is
Yeah.
it that Sam always kept saying? Like, oh, most agreeable. That was it.
See, that's
Most
the thing.
agreeable.
That's who it
agreeable.
was. Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was Sam that day.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam Hunt. If you don't know him, fantastic actor and a masseuse. I learned.
He
Get a
plays him
massage
very
off
well.
Brian the Ood. Or the
I feel
chief
like that should
clown
be
from Greatest
included.
Show.
Oh,
If-
don't,
if-
Fruki.
That was fun. The last show when he was doing that.
Did you ever see the Clockwork Droid?
No, I never did. Where was it?
Wait, there was a clockwork droid? Sorry, I'm back now. I don't know what just happened.
Apparently there was a Zygon as well, and we couldn't find the fucker.
No, I never saw Zygon. I
It's
saw
behind a door.
Oh.
I
I
heard
saw
Kind
a
of like how we saw the silence. It was on a screen behind
Yeah.
a door.
Oh,
That's how it
okay.
was. Apparently, but we
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
find
I saw.
Yeah, I'm
I,
back now. Sorry, I heard Brian was here. I heard his dress sense was improved, but apart from that,
No, I wanted to shoot
I-
him like Zariah did. But continue.
I have lost track of no. Yeah, there was a Clockwork Droid one time I went, and those things scared the living crap out of me.
What, like an in character costume? Fuck off! Really? Sorry, I keep
wait,
swearing.
we didn't see that. No, it's fine. You can swear. Like,
That's
but-
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
I can't believe I missed that.
Did they have
It
to
was
like,
on. It
change
was
the
on like. It
voice
was like
and-
the
and
second.
footsteps?
It was on like the second or third attempt. Like the second or third attempt.
All right.
The second or third go. So it was like early days.
Maybe what that was is they didn't have the people who were fitted to the Cybermen costume, so they just have that as a backup.
Oh no,
But,
no,
like,
no! The
that's just
Cybermen was still
clothes.
there as well. Basically, it was where the clown would have been.
Oh, okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm glad we got to see the clown, by the way. Which
Oh,
Sam,
Sam
played.
as the clown dragged me around that last show. It was so he was sweating, all the makeup was coming off immediately, but he was giving it his all as he always
yeah,
does.
because
He sounded exactly like Brian though. It was the
I,
same voice.
I went in there before you guys, and I saw him straight away, and then he was asking like, are you part of group or anything? And I was just saying, oh, I'm waiting for my good friend Jack Reeves. I believe you've heard of him, and
yeah, they all
so-
knew my name very clearly.
No, it's when Noah talks about this moment every single time. It's when we went in the first time with Jack and Noah, and we walked in, and literally Jess Elton just like pulls back the curtains and goes, "Jack Reeves!"
across the entire room.
I mean,
She
talks
was
about
waiting
that all
for
the
me.
time as well.
Yeah, I loved that trip because me and Noah dressed the same. I
They
knew
were
he was
both-
going to
they were
go.
both in Age of Steel.
Yeah, I knew he was going to wear the tux, so I was like, "Oh, I've got that outfit. I'm going to wear it too." And he was like,
It was so cute.
"Me getting out of the car was comedy." He loved that, and that was a good trip. I liked
That was
doing
a
it
good
with Noah.
trip.
Him telling everyone to calm down because they're actors. Amazing,
My childhood.
incredible.
I'm trying to think of my best time. It was amazing all times, really. I think the one where I was the most tired was the second time we went on the same day.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting, but it was a good experience. I think.
I will say this: my worst trip was my last trip.
Oh really? Why's that?
Because I was at the front of the bar.
I see. And if you wait too long, the alarm goes off.
I will say this, like, I know we spoiled it completely for everything, but if they do open in Manchester, don't stand anywhere near the singer.
Yeah, I know. Well, mate, at the beginning you can, because then you can join in the bands.
Yeah,
she
but
gets
then,
you to
like,
do like
but then-
Freddie Mercury call and
Yeah.
response, and I love it.
But then, like, drift back, because if you stay right up against the singer, you don't get a very good experience at the end. It feels very rushed.
Oh, I found her on Instagram, and she posted a picture of her singing Katy Perry with the audience, and I was like, "Wait, we did that? That wasn't us, was it? Because that was one of the last shows, and someone's like casually filming it with their phone, and I'm like, I'm trying to listen out for me and Rory and Gemma, our voices going, "You're gonna hear me," and I'm so glad I couldn't hear myself, because that would have been embarrassing, and I was belting it.
I think one of my favorite moments was actually in the bar, and it was when I went dressed as Brian. And you'll know this because you actually inspired me to do this, but I couldn't wear the mask actually in there.
Yeah, it was against the rules because of the cameras.
Because the
That makes
cameras,
sense.
so I used it for comedy instead.
You
So I
sure
walked
did.
up to Savaya in the bar.
Oh, I
and
did give you this idea.
yeah.
Yes.
I placed the mask on the desk and said, "I think I killed the wrong mood." Or like when I went up to Brian and I held it up like this and I said, "I met a nude once." That was a great moment.
They're really good at improv though, because you can do those moments and they have a response like
They
that.
were- they
Like
were.
the story James said is my favorite story of all time. James, who played Brian as well as the guy in Torchwood, spoilers, it's in the trailers, it's fine. He had a story where he was Brian.
Yeah, he's the one who was running around going, "It's okay, I'm Welsh.
Yeah, that one.
Nothing to be scared about."
He was dressed as Brian, and a little boy about 10 years old comes up to him and he goes, I was like, "Oh, you're
It's the
you're
one
an
about
assassin,
the killing,
yes?"
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How I kill
So,
someone.
what is your preferred method of death? Brian says to this 10-year-old, and he goes on for about 30 seconds of the most horrid, gruesome method of death. And Brian then turns to his mother and goes, "Is this your child?" She goes, "Yes." He's like, "Well, congratulations."
I mean, the fact that you censored that in the interview made it sound a lot worse.
yeah,
than it
you can hear the
probably
uncensored
was.
version in the full interview, but for the sake of the show and for the
Oh,
sake
really?
of comedy, I censored it. It was so fun.
So it sounds so much worse than what
It's
it
so
was.
much worse than it actually is. But I mean, it is still bad. Like part of it was drinking petrol to the point where you throw up and then you light it. That's just part of it. It's check out this full
Blimey.
interview of James and Angus, because
He's
it's
another
worth
one.
it.
He's another one that knew Noah by name. Was
Oh, what,
James.
James? We love James. He was
'Cause
always stuffed in Torchwood.
we went into the Torchwoody bit, and he'd be like, "I've seen you here before, Noah." I'm like, "Oh bloody hell!" Because every single time, he'd like tell him about like popping bubble wrap and all this stuff. Like they basically have the same conversation every single time
Yeah.
we went. Like he used to be like, "Oh, it's the bubble
Yeah.
wrap boy."
I always messaged one of them to let them know we were coming.
Yeah.
And I specifically mentioned like, "Oh, okay, today it's me, Gemma, Rory. It's me, Gemma, Abby, Noah." And they'd be like,
This
"Oh,
your
hell yeah,
child.
Noah."
Yeah, I think
Child is
I
here.
was remembered on the last day because of course we went twice the day before.
Hell
And
yeah.
the Dare who plays Davros, remember? Was it?
Dare, yeah, I love
Yeah,
Dare.
yeah.
He was
He-
funny.
Yeah, I was just walking around because I got there an hour early, and then he was just rushing to go get, and then he just tapped my back and said hello, and that was funny. And I'm trying to remember the name of. And you remember my name? He
was lovely. I barely got to talk to him except
You just
What just happened
put on
there?
you just like skipped a bit.
did I? Oh,
Yeah.
I was just saying that I barely got to talk to Dare apart from the last couple of days, but he was lovely.
Yeah, I'm
He
glad
was
I
so
was
nice.
there for
Time
that.
jump, Rory.
Yeah, I think we did.
That was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
The time's fracturing again. Quick.
I could hear 10.
Oh, funny thing. Here's a random thing. Currently in that cupboard is a bit of my blind that I've ripped. Well, Gemma ripped down because she hated it, and she was like, I don't want this one. I want a new one." So she ripped it off the wall, and it's like this. It's a perfect arch. It's a metal arch, and I was like, "Gemma, take off the string. I'm keeping that. I want to make a mini PSG one of these."
Yes.
So I've got this metal like arch rod in my little cupboard over there. I'll turn it around. I've got my little Eccleston cupboard over there, and I'm going to use that one of these days to do like a unit scientist
PSG.
with a PSG thing one of these days, because that's going to be funny as well. I'm going to do as much time fracture IRL stuff as humanly possible.
Maybe for the that thing that we're planning. Possibly.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, thing. You know the
that thing.
yeah. But yeah, so I mainly got recognized in public by the actors on my way there.
Well, you do dress quite provocatively.
Yes, it is.
You dressed as your own doctor, which is like peak nerdom.
Yeah.
There's dressing as the doctor or dressing as companion below that, but then there's your own doctor and your own OC character.
I mean, on the last day, I dressed as a mix between him and Ten, and according to you, I wore what jacket did you describe it as? It was a Flash's jacket.
It was a Flash's jacket. It was like that sort of beige Packer Mac that you see classic Flash and just
He's either going to flash you or sell you watches.
Yeah, exactly. If you were wearing shorts that day, it would have looked terrible. It would have been not ideal, my friend. If you had my facial hair as well, shorts. If you had your hair down, you had my facial hair, you'd look a steak.
I despise shorts. The worst.
As do I. I always wear jeans.
Yeah, yeah, same pretty much.
No one needs to see my hairy legs.
Nor mine.
Ladies, you heard it here first. She's on Bumble.
Single.
Ready to Pringle.
Hi.
Yeah, I think I got recognized by another one of the. I got recognized by someone who was playing the unit scientist on the last day. He was playing Sully, the glass. I've forgotten his name, but he recognized
which one?
Sully, and he was wearing glasses and he had like thick black hair.
Sully. Oh, I know who you're talking about, but Harry Sullivan, who he was playing.
He recognized me because I was answering all the questions the day prior, and he was talking.
No,
he was talking to me like,
the funniest thing is Gemma.
Oh, Gemma goes nuts. I wasn't expecting it the first time we went together, but like I knew she was going to go full on when the first question was asked was like, so do you know what you're doing here? And Gemma just yells out, we're going to hear this. We're here to save the world. And I was like,
Gemma.
Yeah, I stay mostly quiet during the question thing unless I'm directly asked because I'm awkward and I hate improv. And so Gemma just out of nowhere next to me, we're here to save the world. That's what we're here to do. She has that energy.
I think during the entire thing, I really just go full on improv.
You do, to the point where I'm like, I'm not with him.
Hey, I make it memorable. That's one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I make it memorable, and I
sure do.
I just have fun. It's like really, especially with the Davros bits. Like they're just, just go full on.
Oh, you weren't there, or were you? When we finally got the fugitive doctor.
Yeah, I was there. That was the last day.
You were there.
The second last day.
I got it on my last day, and I actually squealed.
Yeah, I was like,
we did too. It was so funny. So we went in there, and we were like, yes, here we go. And all you've got to do. Here's a hint to everyone at home. If Time Fracture reopens and it's
say you're unsure,
and you want to see Joe Martin, here's what you do. You go to Dave, and you basically tell him no. I'm not going to say what the thing is, but you tell him no. There was one person in our group that was like, I'll trust you. And we were like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
I was there for that bit because I'm glad you told me that because I was just like, I like what you've done with the place. Oh, well, the army. And then he gave me the thing at the end, like he always does, And then I'm glad you told me that because I would have, said, yeah. Well, I would have.
Literally every single time I've been like, I need to say no. I need to say no. And I was like, we're unsure.
Oh,
and then Joe appeared on the screen, and I was like, yay!
I don't know.
All three of us just went, yes.
I don't know what it is about that room, but as soon as I go in there, every time I just go full doctor.
You do. To be fair, I do as well because I went dressed as 10 so many times, and whenever I'm asked a question, I'm like, well, and you just start trying to throw
they
them
always
off as
pick
best
on
I can.
Noah, that's what gets me. And
they do.
this is the thing. They're like, they'll like slowly edge their chair towards Noah, and Noah just kind of stands there. They expect him to like back away, and he'll just be like, "You all right?"
Well, Noah is quite interesting because he has two reactions. He either says nothing because he has no idea what's happening, or he'll like straight away say the funniest thing you've ever heard. I can't for the life of me think of it. Oh no, it was the tree again. When he had to, it's like, Noah, can you be a tree for me? And he just goes, and we're like, yes, well done, Noah. Very good.
You've done a tree.
And he's just smiling to himself like, hell yeah, I was a tree.
Oh, one bit that
Fantastic.
you particularly like, Jack, is the Weeping Angel bit.
Fuck those angels. I hated it every time we did it, and I despised it.
Oh,
I
I
despised
absolutely-
you. I know what you're getting at. You were the worst. I feel so sorry for those actors. Sorry, Abby, one sec. I feel so sorry for whoever had to be those angel actors, because obviously you're supposed to back away, you know, like normal people do. Rory, this prick, on the last couple of days, just gets in her face, the poor bastard. I'm like, Rory, get the fuck back.
No.
Trying to work.
Hey, it wasn't in her face. That
It was. You were like leaning in.
I wasn't leaning. I was just hello.
I was like, genuinely, even the Time Lord guide, because we were all running out of the room, and I stayed behind because I knew what you were doing, and I was like, Rory, come the fuck on! And all the time, the Time Lord guide's holding the door. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. I'm punching my brand new desk in dismay.
No, I say you want Time Fracture with a kid,
So fun.
unless it's Noah, because then he just ruins it.
No, Noah's funny though. Noah does it he falls over, he trips in the dark. It's great.
He fell at the foot of a weeping angel.
That poor bastard. That's traumatized. That's in a nightmare or two of his. It
That
would
was
be
when
for
he
me.
was that's when he was wearing the Age of Steel suit. So that was when he.
Oh, it was. Yeah, he ran off ahead of everyone, I think.
Yeah, he went.
Yeah, he bolted. He was up there before anyone. That was a good day, though. That was a good day on the
But
whole.
I was saying we were. Still
Didn't the pig man try and buy him?
Yeah, he tried to get bought off the pig man, and
I think that would have been a good deal.
Sandra, who's the red coat, blue Time Lord guy who knew Noah by name. Come on, Noah, you know the drill. Do you want to be at the front or the back this time? And he'd be like, fun, I want to be at the front.
Yeah.
Like, straight
You
away.
never want to be at the back, which is like
But
where I
remember,
always got
remember
shoved.
when, I remember this is the first time we went, so bearing in mind, like nobody knew what was going on, and the Weeping Angel bit started up, and he was going, "It's all right, guys. It's just actors." All these adults are like wrecking themselves, and Noah's like, "It's just people in costume. It's like cosplay." And I'm like,
Yeah, and then you compare that to like I think it was a must have been sort of 15, who was genuinely got to the next bit bawling her eyes out. Like we were all like, "Don't worry, it's okay, it's over now." And as I knew the story, I was like, "Hey, do you like Time Lords?" And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Do you want to know what's through that door?" And she was like, "Is it Time Lords?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it is." Well, not fuck, because I don't swear in front of children, my goodness. Except for Noah, who knows every swear word but doesn't say it because he's a good boy. He's a good boy. That
I'm
Noah.
ex-military. What do you expect? But no, I've been there when I've seen like 12, 15-year-old guys see a Dalek and poo themselves, and I've like had to warn them.
Yeah, well, you
before,
pooed yourself because
like-
didn't you hug Gemma or like a stranger at one point in that angel segment? You just randomly started
I
hugging
was
someone.
just randomly hugging some dude. No
Yeah,
idea who they
you
were.
could have pulled that
Hello?
day. That could have been
Hello?
it. That could have been your soulmate.
Did you meet Weeping Angels?
Imagine beating somebody in Time Fracture though. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
that'd be like a dream. I'd be well up if I'd bet somebody in Time Fracture.
Well, I'm trying my best to get back to my love Simon, because that's what my audition's hopefully going to be tomorrow. So I can get back to Bubba Simon who I love. Bubba Simon.
yeah, because we were just talking about the audition, weren't we?
Yes, we
Yes.
were. I'm so just to quickly explain. Secret Cinema, which is another immersive company, it's not the one who did Time Fracture, is doing both a Dirty Dancing very soon and a Guardians of the Galaxy one, which is where Simon's going to be, as he told me, because he's nice like that. And I saw genuinely on Indeed is where the application was for front of house, which is like just, the people outside. You're not like in it, but you sort of have a role anyway. Like with Time Fracture, it was the unit soldiers outside.
Red Berets, yeah.
Yeah. So for Dirty Dancing, which is what this one's for, I've applied for it. I've gotten through the first bit, and I'm going to go to an in-person group audition tomorrow, which I'm bricking.
No pressure.
Exactly. But the best thing
Acting.
is, and I knew it was good because in that first interview, she was like, she was a very nice lady. She was said, so yeah, we're hoping for these people, if it's you, who, when it's finished with Dirty Dancing, because it's just a 2-month show, they're going to move on to our next show. And I was like, oh, really? What's the next show? Is it anything cool? She was like, well, do you like sci-fi? And I was like, a little bit. And she was like, oh, good, do you know Guardians of the Galaxy? And I'm like,
Never
yes.
heard of it.
No way. And genuinely, so if I get this role, I'll be with Simon again. I get to work with Simon,
Well,
which
that's
is
quite nice.
fucking great. And the best thing on top of that is that apparently once you're in Secret Cinema, you can audition for proper roles. Like if you're a front of house, you can get in it. So potentially,
You'd be in that
Jack's gonna
bubble.
be in immersive theatre in the future if I
Happy
don't fuck it up
days.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm bricking it. Also, I need money. I am between jobs. I have just, with my fiance, bought this lovely place and I need money. So if I don't get it, I'm in trouble. So
But,
my
you know-
GoFundMe is in the description. No,
because
Wish you the best
because
luck.
YouTube does not pay us, people.
it does. Well,
Mm.
I'm technically monetized now, but it's 50p for every like 500 views you get.
Oh Lord.
It's not ideal. And I don't
Mm.
get money until I earn £60 anyway. So I'm just waiting for that. Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting.
16
Yeah.
quid. Well done.
But yeah, wish you the best of luck with the
Thanks,
audition, by
mate.
the way.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, this will most likely be going up tomorrow, by the way, if that's okay with you.
Oh,
send it
Yeah,
out,
no, that's fine.
Because this is very easy content to get out. Because with audio editing, I spend most of my time doing that and writing. I mean, the pain to doing all that, the pain to becoming
Yeah.
that job. But
Yeah.
so I thought this would be something that's kind of easy to consistently put out rather than
Yeah.
just and that's what, it's a good way to get to know people in the community as well and talk to people that I already know, such as you two.
Yeah, it's basically it's an excuse to both chat to friends and make new friends, and you can't argue with that.
True.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah. So, time fracture wise, going back onto that, I think with going with group was a huge that was like the first time I went after this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
That was the first time I went this year. And it was great going with group. I told you all the well, it's kind of a simple story, but it's the story about me pulling Brian's arm off.
Oh,
told you that,
I know this
but-
story. Yeah.
So
It's a fairly self-explanatory story.
Yeah.
There we go.
But there we go. I pulled Brian's arm off. No context given. Just But yeah, I was just doing my bit, mourning Brian. Kneeling beside him, and I did the like they had to drag me out of the room, drag me away from Brian. Just I miss him so much. And I was fake crying, and then I grabbed his arm, and I just accidentally yanked it off.
I should explain it's a mannequin.
Yeah,
it's not
he's
a real
not-
person.
It's
Now that would be way worse. Ah! Just having a breakdown. What did you dislocate my shoulder?
I didn't understand my own strength,
But
but
you're very strong.
yeah. I'm hench. I am.
I used to be strong. Well, because I worked as an assistant caretaker for a few months, so that's a lot of heavy lifting. And one day I jokingly do the classic like, "Whoa," and Gemma from across the room goes, "Oh my god!" And I go, "What?" And she's like, "Go look at
You have
yourself." And I had
arms.
muscles. I don't now.
Mm.
Despite
Yeah.
moving a
It
bunch of
lasted a
furniture
month.
up and downstairs, my muscles have gone. I'm back. Look at this. Look at this twig. Oh,
Actually, muscles.
Boom. It'd be awkward if one was stronger than the other. That would tell a story, wouldn't it? Ladies and gentlemen.
Jackery!
Fuck it. Okay, I still have muscles. Never mind. Hell yeah. Take a screenshot of that. That's going to be in.
Hey, that's the thumbnail. That's the
Thanks.
thumbnail right there.
But yeah. Oh, that's like when I went on Mr. TARDIS's live stream. I was very lucky to do that. That was that's because it was a Comic-Con panel. So I went on his live stream, and one of the first things in the live chat when I came on was great. It was, oh, finally an attractive guest. And I was like, I mean, thank you, but also that's offensive to everyone who came before him. I was like, what the fuck? And also that's offensive to Will. It's like,
Fair.
bruh. I mean, thank you.
I
I'll
mean-
take it.
Wait, what was that? Was that Mr. Taz's live stream or was it?
Yeah, that was
Who
the
Knew?
live
Because
stream.
you were on both, weren't you? You were on Who Knew as well.
I was on Who Knew. I
Yeah.
got very lucky there.
Because hang on, I was on Mr. Taz's channel.
Was it before or after I was?
I'm not sure. It wasn't really as a guest. Well, it was at one point because I was his BFI correspondent.
You were, yeah.
Were
Were you on camera for that?
I
BFI
was
correspondent.
on one of them because we did this bit where it was just me it was me because we were both at the Galaxy 4 one, and he
Yeah.
gave me his phone to kind of like, oh, hi guys, I'm his BFI correspondent
Nice.
here, and then he just walks into the frame and then just pushes me off. And then so I was on this channel at one point. Yeah.
Well, according to one random viewer of his, I'm the most attractive person ever. That's a fact. I should put that on a t-shirt. I should put that on my channel banner. Jack Reeves, most attractive person, in small text,
If
according
you
to
weren't
this one
engaged, that would make for quite a Tinder profile.
person. Yeah. Oh God, I'd never do online dating. I couldn't do
Mm.
it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I got lucky meeting her at work. And Gemma's amazing. I'm gonna say this now. Gemma is the best fiance anyone could ask for. But
Oh,
like,
go Gemma.
fuck.
Loneliness.
Lonely Abby, I know. I feel because I know
Yeah, I'm
you
also
always say
lonely.
like whenever you hear someone say, "Oh, I love my partner," you just go "fuck you." But
Yeah,
Gemma's great. She deserves it. Fuck you.
I would never ever try. Well, I did once because I thought, yeah, why not?
Did you actually? You've tried online dating?
Yeah,
I'm
once.
currently still trying on
But,
dating.
Yeah, men suck.
Yeah.
Agreed. They're terrible, but that's another conversation.
Wait, hang on. How do you know that via dating apps, Mr. Rory?
Oh
You
no,
two-
that's not via dating apps. That's just in general. Men are terrible.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just like accidentally outing you
that's
on
just-
a Zoom call.
Oh no,
That's
I'm
good.
no, I'm straight, but men are terrible anyways.
Let's just keep men bashing. Let's really
Yep.
annoy people.
I mean, it's a hobby. It is a hobby.
Get the baseball
Mm.
bats out, lads. We're going man bashing.
No,
Start with
like
myself.
Mm.
yeah, no. Online dating is not it's not working out well for me at
Mm.
We
all.
tried to
Made it.
get Harry a date when he came down here. Harry Hudson Music, you might know him as. Well, you two know him. He
Yeah.
came down to visit and do Time Fracture with us, which I surprised him with. He loved that. Well, he loved that after I told him that I paid for it because he was like, "No, don't do it. Don't pay for me." And I did it anyway because I love my Harry and I look after him. And he was like, "Fuck you!" But then he did the show and he was like, "Fuck you still," but it was good. But anyway, so he's on the dating scene as well. So he does the Tinders and the Bumbles and whatnot. And so genuinely, me and Gemma sat either side of him like parents and went, "Oh no, I don't like the look of that one. She's got a piercing or something like or such stupid shit like that." And we were like, "Oh no, she does." And she's like, we looking at the bios and it's like, "I like adventures in the office." No, red flag, swipe.
Oh my
Like,
God, I had
it
the
was so fun.
worst experience ever imaginable.
did you
and-
match with Brian,
No, but
your true love?
he's dead, unfortunately.
Rest in
But
peace.
unfortunately, I don't go for oods or men or male oods or
I
any
do.
oods. Oh,
Or think of all those noodles. Delish.
I can just imagine Tom Baker saying that in my head because he's seen it.
Delish. Yeah, I've seen that video. Barbecue, curry sauce all over
Yeah,
your
so
ass.
I'm going to tell some embarrassing Tinder stories. They're not, in depth, but I've matched with two people on like my 3 days being on it, and like one of them, it just happened to be because I was quite drunk when I set this up. Quite drunk.
Dear. Were
Quite
you?
drunk. Yes.
I dread to think what you'd be like.
It was
drunk.
like my cousin's birthday, and we were like out clubbing and such. Well, it was a silent disco, which was a weird story in itself. But we were in Wetherspoons, which is where you get cheap drinks,
which is
pretty much.
where all great drunk stories happen, as far as I'm concerned.
And
True.
unknowingly, I had matched with one of my friend's exes,
Fantastic already.
someone I had flirted with in the past, who
You dog.
funnily enough, I don't want to get too in depth. Well, I do watch.
I
this, but basically, I did this kind of thing where I went around my town. It was kind of dressed in this crown, and like I was kind of like like you get those carnival queens. I was a carnival king for my town.
No,
You
you
can
were a
imagine it.
carnival queen. Come on now, darling.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yes, but
Oh, yes.
I had to do like 140 events in a week around my town,
Jesus.
and I'd met this person, and one of them was Pride. And I met this
Me.
I met this girl at Pride, and yeah, so I
You
started.
wouldn't think that's where a heterosexual
you
relationship
wouldn't-
would
you
be.
wouldn't think that. Oh, no.
No.
It gets worse. It gets worse because it wasn't a relationship, because she told someone that she liked me, and then then I heard about this, but then the next day I found out she got with someone else.
No.
And a few years later, because that was 2019, that was the person I matched with on Tinder.
That was sweet revenge. You could just say,
oh no, but it got worse.
Oh Christ, go on.
Because they didn't know who I was. But they did, but they didn't remember why they knew who I was.
Ooh, that's the worst.
Which is really funny actually, because it was just and then I was just pretending like, oh, I don't know who I don't know, and then I just deleted Tinder.
Oh no.
And I also saw Mort from Madagascar had a profile on there.
As he should. He should play the field.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of that. Have you read the wiki for
I have.
Mort?
He's got a lot of dead cousins or something, doesn't he?
He's got like this whole multiverse surrounding around him. He's like killed all of his cousins. He has a foot fetish.
multiverse.
And there's like a 3-hour video that I've watched, by the way, of a rabbit hole all centered around Mort.
Terrible.
It's like, and all of it's true. All of it's true, and it's so messed up. It's unreal.
Yeah, I bet we've all got some horrible dating stories. I mean, come on now. I mean, to be fair, I don't think I have horrible, but I have embarrassing. Hell, the way me and Gemma first got together is relatively embarrassing, even though it worked out a treat. Well, it's okay, not pathetic. Pathetic on Jack's part. Hear me out. So we met at work, which was a nursery. So I didn't want to be unprofessional, but I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" Blah, blah, blah. And so I found her on Facebook and I added her, and I was like, "Oh, you up to much? What are you doing? How are you? All that, normal boring crap." She was like, "Oh, I'm playing shut up." And I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Do you have that game?
I remember
And I
this.
said, "Yeah, I do have that game." So I went and bought the game.
Oh, you've told me this.
Yeah, I bought the game. I downloaded it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's just installing updates. Give me a minute." And we hopped in a call, and she didn't find this out until months after we started dating. And genuinely, I think it was that day we got together. We got together over a Skype call. It might have been Skype or FaceTime or something. And it went on for 6 hours of nonstop COD gameplay, where we just vented every single bad relationship we've had in the past. And we were like, wait, we're kind of on the same page here. We should we? We've both been recently burned by a relationship. Should we? And we were just like, fuck it. And to this day, she regrets it. Yeah, she didn't find out until ages later, and she was like, "Dude," and I was like, "Well, it worked, didn't it?"
Apparently, must have done.
You could say that.
But yeah, that's how that's how
love
works.
Sympathy. I mean, yeah. But
married next year.
Whoa! I can't wait for that. Oh, hello.
Cameo.
Okay. I can't wait for that Doctor Who wedding, by the way. That's going to be.
Oh, I'm getting the Dobsons Dalek. That's a done deal. I've talked to them. The Dalek is coming.
Doctor Who, the community show, wedding
I said,
special.
I didn't say you.
I'm sure Gemma would appreciate that.
No, she. It took some convincing. I'm trying to get James Sutton's Dalek down too, but we'll see. But because basically we're having a nice little ceremony at first, which is just like close family and Harry, I think, because he's my
Harry.
Well, we both have like one friend each because best girl, best boy.
Yeah,
I'm calling them my best boys, which is my brother and Harry. But so that's that. It's like 20 people for the ceremony, and then basically anyone can come to the bit afterwards. So Rory, you're welcome. Abby, you're welcome.
I'm definitely going.
And that's the bit I'm trying to get the Daleks to. So basically, I've invited the Dobsons. Whether they'll bring Rory, I don't know. I hope so. That'd be nice.
Well, I hope I'm going.
Oh, here, actually, whilst I'm talking about the Dobsons, congratulations to the Dobsons. They're having another baby.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Fuck yeah, they're having another kid.
There's me trying to avoid like happy relationships and people getting
would
pregnant,
say-
and then they're on Twitter, and I'm like,
would-
great.
I would say Rory's a good baby name, but they've already kind of done it already. So
They've absolutely not quite the same spelling, but
No.
they have very much already got a Rory, who Katie Manning
God.
and Sophie Aldred adore.
I tell you what, at that award show that I was talking about, they misspelt my name on the big screen they were putting it on
Oh, no.
2 times. The third time they got it right, but on the awards they gave me, they misspelt my first name on the first one, and they misspelt both my names on the second one.
How do you misspell guest?
Gest, apparently. Geest.
They're stupid. Even I got that bit right.
But that pretty much sums up education.
I mean, it could have
very
been
well.
worse. It could have just said Rassilon Productions.
I mean,
That'd be
they
pretty
did
great.
know about the channel. To be fair, they did like
Yeah,
go
so did my
towards
school
me.
friends. That was a
It,
mistake.
it actually went towards me passing my thing in the end because it was all portfolio work. So
Oh, you got lucky. I just got bullied for mine.
including the Comic Con panel, actually, that helped me actually.
You're
you know.
welcome. I helped you pass your exams. That's a fact. You can't take
Yes.
that back. You've said it.
My courses didn't have exams, but you know, the sentiment is still there.
Mine did. So shut up.
I mean, the award show was better
Struggle.
than my actual last day because they just brought in microwave pizzas.
Oh, I don't like pizza, so you're on your own.
Yeah, it was no.
Preaching to the choir, man.
They were terrible. They were
Good.
terrible. They were
All
stuck-
pizza is terrible. I'm
So-
just putting my foot down.
No, but these were shitty microwave pizzas, and they were stuck to the plate, and we'd flip them around, and they were stuck, and then we used them as a frisbee. We were throwing them around the class.
Well, you know,
Not
you're not
everywhere,
going to eat it. You're not going to eat that.
Yeah, that was pretty much our last day of college. Was that?
Wow, you had a
Moving
wild
pizzas
day.
around.
I just
Oh, yeah.
left. I just left. I didn't say goodbye to anyone. I didn't do the signing of the shirt thing that you
Oh,
do.
they didn't
I,
do that.
I
at
just,
mine.
I just buggered off. I
mean,
didn't
that
go
was-
to prom. Didn't do any of that.
That was
Hated
more
it.
secondary for me. Was prom and signing of the shirt.
College for me was way worse. I didn't even want to be there at the end. I think I flunked.
Because
my-
I actually wore this tank top to prom.
I know. I've seen the picture. You posted it
yeah.
of you and your father, R.I.P.
Mm. It's actually back there. Actually, it's in the picture.
Oh, I thought you meant like a ghost.
Yeah, you get a call. I mean,
I was
I've
like,
told-
oh, I feel his presence.
I have told you about their ghost calling, didn't I?
You have.
I
Tell
haven't
that
told you,
story.
Abby. I actually, well, I hinted towards this in the Jed one, but a few months after my dad died, he basically gave me a call. Go figure how that happened. But he basically started calling my sister 5 times, the contact that hasn't been active since he died. And it started calling my sister 5 times at like 3 a.m.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and my sister had all her friends around, and they were all pretty drunk at the time, and among other things. But you know, and yeah, so that happened, and like they were all completely don't you know, they were all completely shocked, and not that,
Damn.
not that.
Well, yeah, you would be shocked though. Good lord, you
Yeah.
got proof. You got near proof of the afterlife.
I mean, we picked up, of course, and then there was just nothing. I mean, my mum started getting calls from the same number, and it was just random phone noises, like beep, 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 beep.
That's so
I mean, to be
weird.
fair, that could have good on you because that could have affected you quite badly at the wrong time. Like you've
Yeah.
managed to play this off quite cheerfully, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was strange. It was quite the experience. But
You should have
yeah.
performed like a séance.
It's been quite that year. I mentioned quite a lot of the stuff, the bad stuff that's happened to Jed the other day. I mean, there's been a shitstorm. I compared it to the shitstorm. I compared it to a festival toilet when I was talking to Jed, which was lovely.
Oh, lovely.
But like, I've witnessed 2 major injuries this year, and of course my dad and everything. But what's happened to Jack? Oh, yeah, I witnessed someone getting comatose, which was oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just talking about how I was witnessing someone getting comatose.
Oh, good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
I decided to be very rude there when we we're
Nope.
talking about something very.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, of course.
Let's
But
talk
yeah,
more
that
about you
happened,
being
but yeah,
drunk
moving-
and having dates. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that was my
Abby, you've
favorite
got to
part.
have some cracking drunk stories. No, tell the one
Yeah.
where you dated Sandy Toxvig. That's my favorite.
What?
She wasn't actually Sandy Toxic, but it felt like it
I
was
was just
Sandy
about to say.
Toxic. Like,
I mean,
oh no, it's like dating apps with me.
You were tweeting about it earlier, actually.
Oh my
saw that.
god.
Mm.
Literally, so 3 times now, including tonight. Actually, I was supposed to be on a date tonight, and
Mm.
basically we were talking. Everything was fine and dandy, and then he's just stopped talking yesterday morning. So I don't know what I've done, but yeah,
Well, what you did, he found your YouTube channel and he said, "Ugh,
yeah,
nerd."
probably. But
Nah,
then,
you're
but
right.
then, but then it happened. It's happened 2 times before this as well. And one time I was actually in where I live, and he said then I was actually like in my city centre, and yeah, he never showed up. So I was full on like.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
That
but
is
this is the
worst.
thing. Jack will tell you, I am the lonely, sad single mum who is desperate for a relationship and really struggling to find one.
Look, just move to Ireland. Chelsea is available. I've told you this. You two are adorable together. Or you ruin Alia's marriage and you go marry her. I hope Alia doesn't see that.
She probably will. I'll clip that out. Of
I won't
context.
do
Nice,
that,
babe.
Johnny. I won't do that. I promise.
I'm intending on visiting them with you next year. So
Yeah, next
bye,
February.
guy.
Next February.
Looking forward to seeing you and the family.
She won't
Alia
watch.
sent me a
She won't
picture.
watch. Don't
No,
worry.
she won't. Alia sent me a picture of one of the earlier community
She
show
might,
episodes
but
where
we'll
her
see.
whole
Yeah, we'll
her
see.
whole family was huddled around the TV watching the community show, and she sent me a picture of it, and she was like, half these people don't even like Doctor Who, they just like watching it, and I'm like, But yeah, Alia is probably one of the nicest people in the community. Just
Oh
as-
yeah.
Oh, she's
no
such a
doubt about
queen.
that.
She's
We all
incredible.
She's
three of us
such a
know.
queen.
Hashtag.
In many ways, the one that woman means a lot to me.
You talk a lot
Mm.
with
We
with
do.
Alia. You're each
We-
other's rocks.
we will be on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like she is my audio wife.
Yeah, I think
Like,
we all have that one person we like latch onto. Like yours is Alia, mine's Harry, because I've known him
Yeah.
for like 11, 12 years now. Rory, who's your bestie?
Oh, I don't know.
Who do you talk to
I'd
the
say-
most?
Actually, probably you. As you say now.
Hey!
she got
Because,
two
like,
besties.
Bestie!
I've met you the most. I've probably
That's
talked to
true.
you
We've
the
met a
most.
bunch thanks to Time Fracture and LFCC and Comic-Con, yeah.
And hopefully an in-person interview one day. But
Look,
You know,
you've been on the list a while.
one day.
You were, well, it would have been around the Comic-Con time.
I'm
but
bringing
obviously, as I
Delta and
had
the
you,
Bannerman. You know
but
that,
I
right?
had you on the panel, so I had to wait. And then
course.
I think you were in the Time Fracture special, so again I had to wait. Although I say that,
Damn
I
me.
still had Abby on the next episode anyway.
Mhm.
But it's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah,
'Cause
of
that's
course,
a
of course, of course.
surefire one. Maybe when Doctor in Distress finally comes out, I'll do it then.
Yeah, finally. One day.
Someone will answer his SOS.
Someone. Maybe in 18 months. But that's 2 dogs away, am I right?
Correct.
Yeah, that was the Time Fracture story of me just randomly singing Doctor in Distress when the clown asked me to. What's my talent?
Oh, you did. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Gemma like messed
It-
up.
It
juggling.
wasn't even like one of the good verses as well. It was the opening.
It wasn't.
one.
You just Sam knew the song. He told me afterwards he knew what you were singing, but he really
cut
wasn't
me off.
expecting you.
He
Well,
cut
that's
me
because he
off.
was like, he's got tight schedule, mate. You can't sing the whole song. And then there was the guy
I
who was
would've.
with us. There was this huge buff dude who was going around with us. He was with his
Yeah.
mate. It was
Yeah.
us. It was you, me, Gemma, and these 2 guys. And Sam goes to Gemma because he knows Gemma. Sam goes, "Oh, you are a juggler, yes?" And she was like, "Yeah, but I don't want to flaunt it." And he gets out 3 juggling balls, which are his from home. It's not part of the show. He brought it from home, and he said, "There you go." And she fucks it up with juggling, of course. And then the guy next to me, the really buff dude, just goes, "Oh, I'll give it a go." Just starts nailing 3 balls juggling. And I was like, "Oh!" And Sam, you could tell Sam was like, "Oh." Well, that is excellent, my friend, because he had the all flamboyant with the clown.
Flamboyant.
He was a right old man.
Yes, that was interesting. What were
Yeah.
we talking about again? I've completely forgotten.
We've gotten off track so many times.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
We've
even know.
covered
Do you have
stage
any
plays,
more?
Time
Do you have any more
Fracture.
questions for?
Honestly, this series isn't very question based. It's just it is based
Bandwagon.
around just and spiraling out of control into different conversations.
That's my speciality.
I mean, me and Jed went from like fan film and like how to critique them to like Coca-Cola addictions, which we both share, which led into near-death experiences with Jed. But that was an
Lovely.
interesting topic, yeah. But yeah, and then like it's just random stuff, some serious topics like when we were talking about the school system and everything, and then it's just an opportunity to have like an honest conversation, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially when like the Wi-Fi goes out, you gotta have a conversation.
Oh, don't. That's like, I'm not even the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of 13 just as a whole. But that line,
Yeah,
infamy, terrible.
bad.
But I'm
lines
sure it's
was a part
supposed
of
to
last
be,
one.
but that makes it worse.
I'll tell you what we could discuss. We could discuss Neil Patrick Harris in
Ooh,
yeah.
good shout.
I'll be honest. When all these sort of rumors and pictures started coming out of like the first initial filming with just Tennant and Catherine, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. I don't like spoilers. Don't show me. But at this point now, I have been getting more excited about Doctor Who than I have for years. Like in the Capaldi era, my sort of interest dropped, even though I do like Capaldi's era. And then with Whittaker's era, I was like, oh God, this really isn't my thing. But now, oh my God, I am all in on Tennant's return.
Waiting, actually, when I was a kid, like waiting for like Hellbent, that was really hype because like you didn't know what he was going to do. Gallifrey's back.
Oh, Heaven Sent was like terrific. That was my like backup, and then Hellbent went.
But like the week between Heaven Sent and Hellbent with that cliffhanger was insane.
That
like,
was pretty crazy.
I remember because whenever like something Doctor Who happens, I just rant some like about. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. She's lovely and she just nods and smiles. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. But you know, I remember the time like just ranting in between like naming the Doctor and David. The Doctor's like, who the fuck is John Hurt? What's he gonna do? Where does he fit in the timeline?
Oh, that cliffhanger was a mindfuck, yeah.
And like Missy being the master, although everyone knew it, I didn't know it was a kid.
Well, everyone thought it was gonna be the Rani. Then everyone was like,
it should have been the Rani.
Should have been the Rani, to be fair.
Right,
I like what they did with Missy, but come on. She was born to play the Rani.
She was born to play the Rani.
Hey, sorry, Abby,
100%.
you made one of your classic Abby faces. What were you reacting to there, dear?
Nothing.
As you were talking there, Rory, I see Abby doing one of her.
Yeah, I think I noticed that as well. Actually,
she does it all the time in script reads and stuff, and I'm always, "What are you doing?
Nothing.
Is that right?"
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. But yeah, so I was hyped a lot during the Moffat era and sometimes during the Whittaker era, like the Spyfall cliffhanger when the Master was revealed. That got me hyped.
That was pretty cool.
And then when Gallifrey was destroyed, apart from the I read your file, that was a bit on the nose. But
I'll be honest, when I saw Gallifrey destroyed, I was more like, oh. I was kind of sad. I mean, I get why they did it, but it's like I was excited to see it back. It was so hyped up its return. I was like,
and then the Weeping Angel Doctor.
That is the high point of my hype in the Whittaker era when she.
And the next time as well with Kate Stewart, that had me hyped.
The thing that got me with that Angel stuff was
it was undone.
The next episode, it was just like, oh, it's fixed now.
And that's where I come in with my series Doctor Who Quantum Log.
Yeah.
Do you know what people keep asking me at the moment?
What?
About this whole Madame Vastra recast for Remnants. Yeah, that thing.
Oh, did they steal Dominic's title? I didn't even think about that.
No, it's Doctor Who Redacted.
Redacted,
yeah.
Yeah, everybody keeps being like, it's not Eve. I was like, I know, I've known for ages. How have you not known? They've killed off Jenny. I did it first.
Like, I've seen so many tweets of you trying to promote
By the way, dead Jenny.
Every day there's like an additional one. Just saying, I killed Jenny first.
Everybody's like, they putting the quote my dead love or like my deceased wife and all this stuff, and I'm like, so dead wives, have you watched before Vastra? I killed her off first.
Funny. We've all I bet we've all done it to promote something in the past where it's just like, oh, this is good. Oh, in fact, yeah, when I found out that Midnight its anniversary was the day before I announced the auditions. I was like, shit, I missed it. So I retweeted that and I was like, so big announcement on this only one, and everyone was like, ah.
Funnily enough, I actually, that was the day I introduced someone to Doctor Who using Midnight. I didn't know it was the anniversary.
I like it when things line up because it makes it seem like you're smarter than you already are, or actually are. I'm not smart in any sense.
I'm not smart either.
I'm good at the funnies. I can do good funnies. That's my job.
Nice. You've not read my scripts. I don't do funny.
You don't do funny.
Well,
you do
no,
depressing.
I do. That's a lie because I do have like quibs. Like even the Molly script.
You did write 11 quite good in. I think it was Jenny and 11-2.
Yeah,
that's coming hopefully soon.
I occasionally do funny, but I either do like hard sci-fi or
I do
depression,
Strax humor.
Oh, you're very good at Strax.
I do Strax humor. Like I call it Lego humor. Kind of the same kind of.
So at some point, does Strax go, there's a problem in Paternoster Row, and someone in the background goes, hey!
Mainly do
like, you've got to invade the moon.
Like, I mainly do Missy meta humor. Because mainly when I'm
do you not just go, crack on, Alia?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I do. I tell her to improvise as much as she can because I know she can, and she does, and she's
I'm going to
brilliant.
promote
nail it.
my own stuff again.
I've
But
got
we done an improvised recording.
Mm,
It was ages ago now. It was back in March because it was a Red Nose Day. But it was me, Alia, and Matt Barrett, and we had no scripts. We literally had the discussion about this, where we wanted to get to in the story, and then we just recorded. And
Yeah.
Alia plays both Vastra and Missy. Oh my god, it's the funniest thing.
The
Like,
dual role of the century.
well, this like Strax ends up having a bath. The curtains get set on fire because of laser monkeys. Like, it's
Automated laser
Yeah,
monkeys.
but it's completely improvised.
I have a series, an upcoming mini-series starring. It's kind of like what if you gave Missy a podcast, and it's just
Oh yeah,
Missy just rambling for 20 minutes, just Alia
So,
just
Alia,
fully
go.
going
crack on.
bonkers for like 20 to 30 minutes, going on tangents. You know, I asked like my only direction was go as bonkers as completely humanly possible, just full Missy. Jack's actually in episode 2 of that when I get to writing it.
Oh, am I actually? Who am I?
B-Tech David Tennant.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you know what you should do? You should do a thing where you get someone to be John Sims master, and it's just like, so I just feel the need to say, we're not a thing. He's like, oh, we're not? He's like, no, look, you were being very forward. It's weird, okay? It's like, oh, I thought we had something. No, we're the same person. And?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few bonkers ideas that like it's gonna be very meta. Like the opening of episode 3 is just her gonna be getting all of these Doctor Who podcasters like Josh Carr into like a room and taking out the competition.
Oh, that's funny.
And like, of course, you're playing B-Tech David Tennant because they couldn't afford the real thing.
No, it's true. That's what I am. Like, I'm B-Tech because there's Tennant, there's Elliot Crossley, then there's me down here somewhere. Like there's always one, like Jacob Dudman with 11. There's Matt Smith, there's Dudman, there's Miles Taylor, there's me. Like there's so many people before me.
I've said this before. I completely disagree with that ranking.
You said that in Time Fracture.
I did say that in Time Fracture.
Yeah, he recorded like a couple of lines as Smith, and you were like, "Oh, dude, Jack's better than that." I'm like, "Bitch, not true. It is not that good. I am good."
The thing is, because having been in a booth with you, not a euphemism.
Well, hey.
But
you did have to bend over to see the script, which I had to like very awkwardly turn away. That was not a fun experience.
But because I've had to like bounce off of like 11 lines with Jenny. I will say this. I love I feel like I wish we'd seen the only time we got to see the like Jenny 11 camaraderie was Crimson Horror.
Oh, well,
that's basically what this is. This is basically what it is.
I don't think we ever. Do we ever mention the kiss?
Oh, it's coming up. Don't worry.
Do we mention it in Jenny and 11? I don't remember ever writing it down.
No, because it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, of course, in the continuity.
Because this is directly after Snowman.
Good. That takes out the awkwardness then. Because I already put a lot of awkwardness
they haven't made out.
Maybe
yet.
add some backstory. Yeah. You know, behind the kiss.
Before kiss.
This doesn't ruin any of 3, but there's a bit when 11 hugs Jenny for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Are you done?"
Like, no, nearly done.
I've not even hugged Vastra for this length of time.
Literally. She's fine to stay still.
Have you just been adding Daleks this whole time? I've only just noticed what you've been up to. That's a cool stone Dalek. I forgot they did that as a character option one. That's
God,
wicked.
don't tell my child.
Oh,
that's
and I
true.
forgot my
I've got my Daleks down there. I've got my Paradigm lot at the bottom.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to have to rap in a minute.
Okay. I've got all the Paradigm as well. But yeah, right. This one's probably my favorite actually.
Oh, that is pretty sexy.
Or this one.
Or this one. Or this, you just pick up.
Noah's only got the white
backstory
Paradigm,
behind that one is
some
quite
random
sad.
red one, and a gold one.
But actually, no, these two are my favorite.
Oh, the custom one by what Jimmy Pie?
Captain Jimmy Pie. Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh wow! Oh, that one's cool.
That's pretty hot.
But because of YouTube, my child is now making this into a classic 60s
Yes.
Dalek.
Good.
He's like shown me where to get the paint.
Has he made a
And-
visualizer eye?
A visualizer eye.
He kept
No,
going around
he's-
saying that, and it was great.
He's got an 11 and an Amy, and literally, where's his Amy?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
she's
not
Amy.
that's not 11 and Amy to him. That is Jack and Alia,
It is.
and
it's
that
Jack-
makes
it
me
is Jack
very
and Alia.
happy.
It
But
is
yeah,
Jack and Alia.
if you know where this is from, I'll give you a gold star.
Oh, CBBC, I recognize that from my childhood, boy.
Yeah,
I
That
so-
was
know that.
my childhood as
So
well.
he's
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So basically, he's gonna change this into a 60s Dalek because that's the sort of thing my child does,
Obviously.
and
I
because
used to do that as
YouTube.
well.
But no, he walks around with his little Jack Reeves and Alia Tori, and he's just going the visualizer eye. And then it'll
I
go,
need to get rid of my eyebrows, then I can be Smith. No, you did that once. You did that on a bit of
I
artwork.
did. I
You
edited the
removed
picture.
my
And I
eyebrows.
removed his eyebrows.
And it was
It's the
genuinely
funniest thing.
horrible. Yeah, it was because I want to do that one year to like Comic-Con or something to do the full Smith look, but get like paint over or like do something to the eyebrows.
Do what drag queens do with
Oh,
the
what, like
powder, so
Gretchen
just
did?
completely get rid of your eyebrows.
I don't know if I want to do that. It'd be really funny, but it'd be terrifying to know what because these are my defining features. They're huge, just like my schnoz. So if I get rid of that, what am I? I'm a shell of a man.
I mean,
God, he's not.
I kind of got the
Jack
sideburns. That's kind of my defining feature, and
I
the
don't know.
eyebrows.
Noah's so
actually.
annoyed he can't grow sideburns yet.
You got to color them in.
Yeah,
Basically.
I've got these there.
Oh, you got your mutton chops.
Yep. I mean, I used to grow them out quite, quite.
You can be
Ow.
Wolverine.
But yeah, so if
Cool.
you're heading off now, should I close this off or?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we'll end
I'll
it
stop the
there.
recording. Do you want to say goodbye and all that?
Well,
bollocks?
yeah. Right, I'll say goodbye. I'll do what I did with Jed and
Sorry.
and I'll give you my stolen college gold star of approval. Now
Yeah.
now you'll know if you were right, which is a joke I'll make every time.
Good.
But yeah, so you can find both of these lovely people in the description and where to find their content, and you can also subscribe to me if you like. If you want, if you watched this much, then I mean, if you found this before any of my other content,
What are you doing, mate?
Algorithm.
but yeah,
It's a weird
so
thing.
yeah, so that's it then. Leave a like, subscribe. Bye. Bye.